Welcome. Good evening. Welcome to the lab. I'm your host, Joshua Diaz. We got a great show for you. One of our staples that we've been doing for some time now. And people seem to really enjoy it. I know that I enjoy it. And I get to spend time with a wonderful guest and friend of mine, brilliant mind, Dr. Gary Brucato, author of The New Evil and forensic psychologist, also member of the Cold Case Foundation. You can see him on all kinds of different shows, including The Interview Room, and he's been on several TV networks as well. And good to see you, Dr. Gary. How are you?
Good. Everything's all right. How are you?
How'd you like that? That was a good one. Huh? That was like a good lead in.
I think so. It was good. I mean, my resume is ponderously long, so I think it's good when people can summarize it in a sentence or two, because it's too annoying.
Well, I would do the
to read it off. Yeah.
Well, you're also the I believe co-founder of the Columbia Mass Murder Database, which is a big deal as well. It's the largest mass murder database ever assembled, and so you have that on your resume as well, and that sort of fits into the things that we talk about. But also, we also get a little spiritual. We also get a little goofy. We do a lot of things on here. But how are you? What do you got going on?
Well, I've been filming for a lot of different shows that I can't announce yet, so that's good. I want to thank everybody for their patience while I wait to find out if I am official on YouTube. For the piano page. And in the meantime, I've been sort of just selling outright the remaining books from the archive, that Michael Stone and I use when we did The New Evil. Got about 20 some odd left that I'm selling, and I've also been selling signed copies of The New Evil. If anybody's interested in either of those, let me know at Dr. Gary Brucato, DrGaryBrucato @gmail.com, particularly about The New Evil, because I have to put in an order for copies. And it'll take, like 7 to 10 days to get them, and then I'll send it out signed. If you already have a copy and you're interested in a little signed book plate, let me know that too. But that helps me sort of generate the remainder of what I need, and for the equipment and everything. And then that's that. I could just get started. I've been doing some composing and making some videos which I haven't posted yet. And all the videos will come back that I have taken down because I'm changing the language on them. Okay. So I get questions about those every day. But see, like the person who asked about the cost and everything, just email me and I'll respond right away about that. Now, in the meantime, didn't your dad get his parole?
He officially paroled yesterday, and so it's part of the history books now. It's sort of time, I guess, for me to move on, and it's one of those. I kind of hate the saying, but it is what it is. And thank you for all the kind messages from everybody. And I also saw you and Chris and Bob reached out to me as well, Bob Gilliam, and uh, John Lamb with his nice thoughts and prayers. All of you guys, thank you so much for being supportive. Thank you to this audience for being supportive. And yeah, it was. It didn't hit me maybe the way that I thought it would, but it certainly didn't miss my family, and I sort of expected that. Um, so I don't know how much really changes here from here on out. There's a no contact. He's not allowed to speak with us, and which is fine by me. No hurt feelings there. And so it's just yeah, it's been interesting. Just know it like you said, Dr. Gary, it's kind of a psychological thing. When somebody is sort of contained in a I guess, yeah, cage, not, it's different. But there's a lot of things that are different now than when he first went in. First of all, me, and the age that I am and who I am and what I can, provide my family as far as, guidance and protection and advice. So I think that honestly makes a big difference, because everybody has sort of looked to me, and I'm okay with that. It's
Well,
the
as
thing to do.
the old saying says, when the going gets tough, the tough get going.
I'm
And,
going.
right.
I'm
So
going.
you'll do
Yeah,
it.
yeah. But you were right. I mean, it's a psychological thing.
Oh, yeah.
You certainly, things
I predicted it.
change. Yeah, things change, and the feelings change, but everybody's been so great, and so no issues, to speak of so far, other than, I guess one of my biggest things was, and I shared this with some of my family, that if there were other people that were maybe excited or happy that he was getting out, I made it kind of clear that, well, look, don't act like he deserves it. Don't act like he earned it, because that's certainly not the case.
Well, look, the truth, Josh, is that your father has been given a very great grace. And in this life, many of us are given graces. A person who loves us more than we deserve, for example. A person who lets us off the hook when we really deserve serious trouble, etc. And I think it's the hallmark of a stubborn, maybe even stupid soul to not realize that one has been given a very great grace. Many of us are swimming through grace like a goldfish in water, but we don't pause and realize how lucky we are. We sell people up the river for virtually nothing. We hurt people. We are selfish. We do whatever because we don't realize um, that we've been given grace. This is why I have become convinced as the years have gone on, that the worst trait, the absolute worst trait a human being could have is ingratitude. Because ingratitude makes a person miss the point that a person is loved not for what one is, but despite it. And I think that your father has been given a very, very great grace, and he may be too dumb or foolish or closed off to realize it. If he is smart, what he will do is he'll use this grace as an opportunity to kind of renew himself and try to tell everyone that he's sorry and has spent years thinking about it, and try to make amends in some way. Even if you don't want him to, he'll try to. But unfortunately, too many people don't have the humble heart to realize that they've been given a grace. The thing that keeps most of us up at night is staring at the ceiling, realizing that we took something for granted, but we didn't realize that we were given a gift, and
Sure.
we treated it like shit. And that's, I don't know, it's certainly something that makes me dislike myself whenever I have made someone feel that way. But it's very important, and you'll realize as time goes on that that's what I think most of us are going to regret at the end of our life. We went out looking for more instead of saying thank you to what was in front of us. And I think your father has got to come to grips with the fact that he's been given a grace.
Sure.
And in a way, if he does come around and say, look, Josh, I've messed up. I destroyed the only thing that ever loved me. Then it's going to be complicated for you. Just as I told you it was going to be complicated when he got out. Wait until you see how complicated it is when he comes scrounging around for forgiveness. Now
Okay, but
that's
he's not. He's
going to be rough. But we don't know that because you
he's
never know what grace does to a heart.
He's technically not allowed to.
Oh, okay. Well,
at least for now.
Well, if he loves you, and he wants to tell you that, it'll break through the shackles. Because
maybe, but the thing was that I got through 37 years without him. I think I could probably do another 37.
But I don't know if he got through 37 years without you. We don't know what's in his heart.
But that's right. His problem.
That's his problem. But what I'm saying to you is, it's going to get hard if he starts scrounging around for forgiveness. Sure. Because as a man gets older and he realizes that he's empty-handed and he's going to meet his maker, you would be very surprised how much reflection one does on the mistakes of one's life. Remember that your father right now is like the man who put all of his money into a slot machine and lost everything.
Right.
You understand? And you stare at the machine and you think, what a fool I am. Well, now, some people might say, as the person in the audience said, screw him. Some people feel that way. And you're entitled to feel that way. And then other people would feel confused. I only know that he has been given a grace, and now the ball is in his court. Now,
yeah, I would agree.
Yes, ball's in his court. This is something that he's got to sort out himself, and he's had a lot of time to think, just like has been said in the audience. So now I mention that to you because I think this process, this healing process for you, is only really just starting. Because before he was shoved in the closet, and now he's not.
Sure.
Now he's out like drop dead Fred. Mm-hmm. So let's move on from that. But I did want to tell you my heart goes out to you, and you always know where I am.
I appreciate that.
I try to always be here for you, even though I'm not always the best friend in the world for people. Okay. So people are calling in about
you are a fine friend. You're a good friend. Matter of fact, I mean you helped me write my letter to the parole board.
Some good that did.
Maybe that was the problem.
Maybe that was the problem.
No, not at all.
Right.
It was a big ask of me, and it was very kind of you to help me with that. But I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
It's on the record forever. It stands, and I don't regret that at all. So
well, regarding the calls, thank you. But regarding the calls, remember that I can't answer clinical calls. I got a call an email today that was very poignant from somebody who wanted advice about something, and I had to say I can't answer that. I have to reserve that for clinical care. I can answer questions about crime. I can answer general questions about, whatever, but I can't address someone clinically. It just can't be done. So I appreciate it. Somebody said that on their view, the comments are covering me, but that's not true.
I see them all coming through just fine.
No, they're saying that the scroll of comments is covering me. Like they just see you and the comment scroll. I don't know what that's about because it doesn't look that way to me.
I don't know. I think they probably are watching it from, I don't know. It's probably her view.
Yeah, who knows? But okay. I mean, it's a nice person who sent me that. I know who the person is that's saying that they email me sometimes. Well, let's get started. Let's
Sure, let's do it. Let's okay, here, let me
and we'll try to do like maybe until like I don't know, like maybe 2 hours or something.
yeah, well, something like that sounds about right. All right, here we go. They're popping in. Heather, go ahead. Heather, how are you?
My friend Heather?
I believe so. Go ahead, Heather, how are you?
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
This Heather, my friend Heather?
Yes.
How are you?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear
I
you.
hear you.
Yes.
How you been? It's been a while.
Hi, Dr. B.
How's
Hi,
life?
Dr.
I didn't get to do your song yet.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I didn't forget about it. I'll do it. Matter of time. Uh-oh.
Yeah. I am good, Dr. B. How are you?
Good. There's a very big delay when you talk.
I've been good. I know it has. I've been wanting to call.
Okay. Something very strange going on. Heather, when you talk, there's a very strange delay and a sound.
Wait.
There's like a spacey sound. It's very like Lovecraft. I feel like I'm channeling Cthulhu or
let's
something.
see.
Yes. Are you there, Heather?
It's a seance.
Yes.
Starting out strong though. But I mean, that's awesome.
Is there still a delay?
I don't know.
I think so. Let's see. How long does it take you to respond here?
It's very, I'm telling
Hello?
you, it's very Lovecraftian.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Right, we're gonna have to come back.
Hello?
I'm here.
I don't want to give up on you, but maybe go back out and come back in, maybe.
Mamma mia.
All right, well, let's go to the next one, then we'll come back to Heather. All right, Crime Crunchies, go ahead. How are you? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good to talk to you guys again. Good evening. So this is
Hi.
Courtney.
How are you? I remember you. How's everything?
Yes, everything's great. So, I had a kind of a brain fart moment today, and the first ransom note with these ransom notes with Nancy Guthrie, the first ransom note was sent on received February 4th, and that's the same day that Savannah, Annie, and Cameron did their first Instagram video. And it wasn't till February 6th that the second ransom note came in. And it does appear the second note is, written by a different person. So I was thinking.
Well, the notion that it was written by a different person is
The
something
notion.
that
Yes.
I introduced, actually. I think
Yes.
if you look, I'm almost positive I was the first person to put
Absolutely.
into the atmosphere that I think that's true. I could be wrong, but not only do I think written by another person, but I think the first written by a male, second by a female, and that the second person wrote that without the first one being too happy about it. But anyway, so proceed. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, no, and absolutely. And I always give you full credit because I mean, you're like our Bible every day. We refer to you all the time. So here's the scenario. If we know that the negotiators and whatnot were in Annie's house, all the families in Annie's house from the 4th, helping them, negotiate. There's a ransom note coming in. They're telling Savannah, don't pay without proof of life. They told her, don't pay. So what are the odds that all those players are in the house? They've got inside information. Do you think that the second note could have been written by somebody that had been given that inside information, knowing the ransom wasn't going to come? And if it wasn't, would the kidnapper have written that note if they didn't know that the ransom wasn't going to be paid? Does that even make sense?
To be honest, I'm having trouble following. So
Yeah.
So you're saying, let me, Josh, did you follow it?
Yeah. I mean,
So
yeah.
summarize what you think is being asked? Because
Yeah,
maybe
I mean,
not, yeah. Go ahead.
basically what she's asking is that somebody that some inside information, knowing that the ransom was never actually going to be paid. That's where maybe are you talking about like the watch? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, so
Oh,
the second note wasn't written until the 6th. The feds are in the house from the 4th through the 6th.
Right.
All the families in the house hearing everything that the feds are advising the family, whether to respond or not to respond, not
Yeah,
to pay.
not to pay until there's proof of
Correct.
life or something. Yeah. Right.
So, is it possible that that second note was written based on that insider
yeah, I
information
got
from
it. Yeah,
inside the house?
Right.
And if you think about it, the first person was a prime suspect at this time per Ashley Banfield. That first person may not have been able to send the second because they were watching the first person.
It's entirely. I mean, I have no idea. I mean,
Of
we're in the
course.
realm of total speculation.
Correct.
I think that the reason anybody even remotely believes the first note is simply that there was information in it that you at least supposedly wouldn't know unless you were there, and unless you were like, I guess, part of the investigation or something, right? I mean, and the second, other than the offender or offenders, and the second note is believed, I think, because it comes from the same place, and I mean that's what it seems. So, but it's an interesting point. I don't know. I
Correct. Of
don't
course.
think that Savannah believes those two notes are real.
So
And
a lot of
right, and
well,
she
and I was
accepts, I think, that her mother
You
deceased
think
based
you
on
said
that.
that you think that she does think that they're real.
Savannah does think they're real. She
Yeah,
said
I agree with that. Yeah,
she
said
she
that
said
shit.
she said that right, and I think that's very important, because there must be a reason she believes that. You see what I'm saying?
Sure, of
So and
course.
based on those, she accepts that her mother isn't here. It's very clear to me that she believes that
Well,
partly.
that's what I'm saying. Like the second, when they said like, we got your message and we understand, and it was almost like they were accepting that she had passed, completely accepting, and so which was it was without context the first time, and now that these notes have come out, or some of these the ransom notes have come out, it makes a little bit more sense, but it certainly feels like they fully believed what they were being told.
I mean, but I don't know. I mean, and by the way, I don't know what that completely obnoxious comment that somebody made about me in the chat is about.
hmm.
I hope that person
It's gone. They're
is
gone.
zapped rapidly.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, there are some people who think that who I think what that person is referring to is that I offer the books and things on the site, because
Oh,
but like if you had a channel, that's what you do. Like you offer, you know, you could take tips, or people offer you merch or whatever. And so it's usually hypocrites who are looking for something to say just to be a troll. But but people, some of the things that they say, like, I think they don't realize that it's such a slanderous thing to say that, like, I wouldn't accept that being said. And so I'm not okay with that. I take very careful note of who says it. But I see nothing wrong with it. Now, Josh, do you?
No, I don't see anything wrong with it.
Thank you. I mean, everyone does it.
And
So
that person's gone.
good. Bye bye. Anyway,
And
right. Regarding your your question, though, the answer is it is not possible to say.
yeah, and and so here's more speculation because all we have is speculation. But the thing is, if this was somebody close to Nancy, because your statistics, Dr. Gary, is that it's very likely to be an insider, statistically speaking, that would have done this.
Well,
So
somebody who knows her. I mean, first of
correct.
all, if she's dead, I mean, I hate to say it, if she's deceased, there's a 76 to 92% chance that a woman who has been killed knows her offender, and knows the person who did it, and I think that's very likely, and that's also
So
doctors that usually, non-sexual abductions. Usually, the person knows you, or it's it's for money, but even then they but go on. So what's
Yeah,
the
no. So if the scenario had gone to plan, and let's say she's kidnapped, a ransom is paid, and then they're going to release her. If it's statistically more likely that she knows somebody, she can identify the person. So was there really any chance that she was going to survive this kidnapping if she had been unharmed, or and again, this is all speculation. I'm just giving you my thoughts. Could this have been premeditated homicide with
yes.
the cover up of kidnapping
Yeah,
because we want, yeah,
that's what I've been saying from the beginning.
yeah,
And then look, I'm down to two theories. One theory is it was an elimination murder, a term that I came up with myself after
yeah,
years of examining cases of it that where it didn't have a clear name. I called it that because it needed a name, right? It's a phenomenon. So if that's what it is, you do the classic thing, you get a goon to you purposely let the person get caught on camera and whatever because you want it to look like a stranger came in and did it. Okay? That's possibility one. So she's deceased instantly. She's bludgeoned, she's suffocated, whatever, and immediately deceased and then taken out of the home. Second, and then you try to get the money anyway, right? To make it look like it was an abduction. You don't really care
bingo.
about the money. You don't really think that anyone's going to pay it. You know, there's that. Okay. Second possibility is that somebody owes money to somebody, and they tell that person, "Listen, you know, you'll get Bitcoin, but we don't think that anybody's going to give us the money." So you do this abduction to try to get the money, to try to get someone to put the money into Bitcoin to pay that, and the person accidentally dies, and you're empty-handed. So you try to get the money anyway. There's that. Now, I suppose a sub possibility of that is that it's just an abduction that went south. You know, some stranger does it, but I don't think so because the familiarity that we're seeing here is suggestive of somebody that kind of knows you in some way. Now, I'm not casting aspersions on any particular person because that can be an intimate or it can be somebody that knows you, like they came and did work in the house or something. But I assure you that the multiple people who did this, and there are multiples,
Mm-hmm.
because we see very different psychologies between porch person, note one, and note
Mm-hmm.
two. Those notes are true.
Oh, you don't think that the porch person wrote wrote the
No,
notes?
I really don't think that was exactly Keats or Shelley who showed up at the house. No. So I think that was a moron that was given a few bucks to do it. Yeah.
I think so
And
too.
so it's one of those two. And all of the other theories I've heard, you know, I'm very kind about them and I kind of go, oh, it's interesting, whatever. But a lot of times I hear these theories and I'm like, you know, like that's whacked
Yeah.
out. Like some of these theories are really wacky. Though it's one of those two. You know, I don't know what else it could be, right? A kidnapping gone south or elimination murder. That's about it. And they're all hideous. I mean, one way or another, because you're dealing with an
Correct.
84-year-old woman, right? And then you also have the idea that whatever happened to her, like I don't think she's like buried somewhere where they're ever going to find her. I think these are the kind of people that would have like completely and totally eliminated her or left her with the animals or something, because the idea is that there can't be any trace of what happened to her. And just think about that, you know. And that's why I think if those two notes are real, the first one is a monster, a person trying to, you know, get money and be callous and whatever. And the other one looks like somebody going behind their back and going, this is really sad. Like you know,
Yeah.
what have we done? You know, and I don't want to be in trouble for this. You know, I want to distance myself from this. So that's why I keep saying, when those notes happened, they should have gone on TV and said,
Yeah. Agreed.
listen, we know someone out there wants to talk and hates that man who you know, or that person who did who led this, you know, like come forward, you know. And it's, and they don't, they didn't go on TV and say that. And I think that is one of the tragedies that botched this whole thing.
Yeah.
Is if you're communicating with FBI, with behavioral science or whatever, I think they would have encouraged something like that. You know what I mean?
I think you're
That's what I think. Don't you think, Josh?
Yeah, I think you're right. And the person that said that elimination murders have been happening before Dr. Gary was born, he's not saying that he invented elimination murders. He's saying he coined the phrase elimination murders, and because there was nothing to suggest or
Describe it.
on the record to call it that.
I'm sorry, who said that, Josh? Just so I'm aware.
They were. I think they were just. I don't remember now, but it's far up there.
Okay. I mean,
I don't think it was. I don't think it was an insidious remark. I was just saying that.
Oh no, I see it. It's I know who Caroline is. That I mean, I don't understand why that's a concrete interpretation of what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there are many crimes that have no labels. For example, it bothered Michael Stone that there was no official term for people who are sexually aroused by body parts. So he created a word for it. And then he came up with long Greek words for things like when Jeffrey Dahmer had relations with a head, because he felt that as a psychiatrist, it bothered him that it had no word for it, right? There are crimes that have happened for a long time. Michael and I came up with the term fetus snatching for a crime that had no name. We were the ones with Ann Burgess who came up with the distinctions between dismemberment and mutilation.
Right, because the way that you guys study these are sort of in batches.
Yeah, and they need labels.
Correct.
These things, like when I came up with the word prototype, because there was the idea of a surrogate victim that you're projecting your fantasy onto, but there was no word for the original source. Who was the original person that you're projecting? So I called it the prototype. I didn't make up the word prototype from Greek. I mean that I applied it in that way. So I think it's a kind of a concrete, it's sort of like saying there was DNA before it was discovered. Of course, you simply gave it a label, and so that kind of thing. It's like a thought blip. But,
well, and you should be credited. You should be credited.
A lovely person, so I know they didn't mean it in it, but it's like one of those.
No, Carolyn's great. I was just saying that you were the one that coined the phrase because that's the way that you guys you study these things, the way that you study them.
It needed a name.
Somebody said, "I wonder who created the word poop."
I've made up a lot of words, Josh. You have no idea.
Oh, I know.
I'm coining a word in my new book for a phenomenon that I think needs a name, and so. But I think it's fun to watch them stick. I also love if I go on a show and I say something and people like the idea, they copy it and they don't realize that like where it comes from. I get a kick. Like the whole idea of the chef and the waiter. That was something I said on
that caught on big time.
Yeah. But it's also a sign of flattery. Imitation is a sign of flattery. And you know what you did was you verbalized what it was.
That's just a name. It's just a name. I still laugh at I'm not flattered, I'm fattered.
That was
about anyway. But listen, I think
how dare you make fun of Sebastian Cabot?
Oh, I'm done with that. But we're not talking about that ever again, Josh. Certainly a heavy hitter. Now we will move on. Now I believe, by the way, that you reached out about appearances on your
and you're busy, but that's fine. No worries.
I didn't even get a chance. Did I even answer you yet?
No, but it's okay. Seriously, it's fine. I just was interested, learning more about you. Actually, we're all talking, but I'm very curious about you.
I am about as interesting as learning about like anaerobic bacteria.
Yeah, but how you got into it?
Not interesting. And
how you got into it?
He hates talking about himself like that. I've tried.
Okay.
I've tried.
I mean, who cares?
Some people do.
But I'd be interested to hear even like who your favorite or your most memorable cases are that you talk to.
I'm going to do you a favor, okay?
Yeah.
You get one question. What do you want to know?
Okay, so what was the one?
No
what was
multi-part question?
Yeah, no, not multi-part. So, who was the most unforgettable criminal interview you have ever conducted?
Not allowed to answer that. All of my criminal interviews are.
Does she get another one now?
That's
no. That's fine, but I just had one other last question, and then I'm going to let you guys go to the next person.
No, wait, hold on. You just got like a golden opportunity, and you.
I know, I did. You're right.
Do you have another one?
Okay.
Okay, go on.
No, I do, but
go ahead.
I want to know how did you get interested in even this whole field?
Because he's a morbid man.
Look,
Did you see the hearse thing from
did you
that he
see
talked
my
about?
matchbook hearse from childhood? My Matchbox hearse that it was given to me. I love my little hearse.
He wanted to have an obituary in his high school newspaper.
I didn't want an obituary.
You
I said
wanted
that my school newspaper should have an obituary column.
That's what I said. That's what I
Yeah.
meant.
It was so frequent that people died.
Mm,
It needed an obituary
And
column.
and you
dang.
thought that was the perfect time to pitch an
In high
obituary
school.
column.
Listen, death is always with us, bro.
Okay, I'm not saying I was just giving some context because I know you a little bit, and then I saw the hearse thing. I just flipped on. I flipped on the
Come on,
interview.
you found that funny, right?
Oh, I laughed. I was having a bit of a day. I saw you playing with your little hearse Matchbox car, and I started laughing hysterically and saying, "Oh, Doctor B strikes again. Here we go." I mean, that was gold, absolute gold. But that tells you everything you need to know.
If you only knew.
Oh, I get glimpses, Dr. Gary.
Well, I think it's hilarious.
I do too. It was
And
actually
my
really
sense
funny.
of humor is very twisted.
I can respect that. You have to. All right. So last question, and I'm going to let you go, but,
All right, so wait, you don't want me
yes.
to answer the question?
I do, but I don't want to push you. I don't want to irritate you. So
I do. I want to irritate him.
The answer is very simple. I was studying to be a priest, and I got very interested in the question of evil. And I had studied psychology in tandem, right? So the idea was that I started to get interested in, are things biological and psychological, or is it sort of preternatural? And then I dedicated myself to doing a lot of work, with the psychiatrically disturbed and the criminally insane, and then people who were incarcerated for non-psychiatric related crimes. And I started to understand that. And I had a lot of mentors who are very prominent in the world of forensics and encouraged me that they saw a lot of promise in me. And then I wound up doing it. And it doesn't hurt that I don't shy away from the darkness. I think it's important to go into it to get the truth. I also found that when I spoke about it, I understood it in a way that was very rich, and it helped other people understand it. But I also have a very morbid sense of humor. I mean, it's my personality. I mean, I'll give you an example. Josh, you want another example of my twisted sense of humor? Let me see.
I mean, if you must, yeah.
Oh, I don't have to give you another.
Oh no, you have to now.
You think it's funny?
I do think it's funny.
So,
but at least I said you're very morbid, and I didn't say morbidly obese.
Yes, I know. Here's an example. Somebody told me that in New York, it's a good idea to carry a whistle around with you in case anything happens. Anything happens, you blow the whistle, and people will come to your rescue. So I got an Aztec warrior death whistle,
nice,
which makes the sound of a person screaming and frightens people away. And I was like, should I carry this around? And people were like, no.
Will you blow that, please? Can you blow it?
We need to hear it.
Scariest sound ever. It actually sounds like a person screaming.
All right, will you blow it for us?
No, it's horrifying.
I know, but we need to hear it. We really do.
No, it's really bad. But you can find it go on YouTube and look up an Aztec death whistle.
Just blow the damn thing.
I'm telling you, look it up. It makes the sound of a person screaming. The point of it was to frighten people away in war. And it sounds like someone going, ah! Yeah, and it's really, really disturbing. And I am in love with it. It was sent to me from Mexico.
So that's the whistle you walk around with?
No, the joke was
large.
Good. And then, of course, I just put it on the shelf because I think it's hilarious. This is my humor.
I know, but I really
or medicate me.
You know, like for my birthday, can you just blow the thing?
The death whistle?
Yes.
All right, I'll call you on your birthday and I'll
It's not for months away.
I'll do the death whistle. but if you look it up on YouTube, you'll see it. And person says, I don't think that's a real whistle. That's reverse psychology. Go on YouTube and look it up.
That's a good try. I don't think it's a real whistle either.
Very real.
I don't think it's a death whistle. I think it's a life whistle. I think it tracks people to you. No. Yeah.
It actually has a picture on it of
fake.
Who is that supposed to be? I guess. Yeah. It's like a Grim Reaper face or something, and it makes this, and it really chases people away. It's
That
great.
would work.
I
like
would like to use that.
What is it called
to get
again?
people- It's an Aztec death whistle.
This is something stupid.
You want me to show you where to find it on YouTube?
Just
I
you need
got
to
it.
play it. We're all invested now. That's
I know,
the
like who
problem.
shows a? That's what I'm saying. Who shows a whistle and then doesn't blow it?
Yeah,
I don't-
and it's
nuts. But listen, look, if there's a video on YouTube that says Aztec death whistle, the sound that terrifies.
Oh man,
you're leaving us hanging is the problem. Okay, so thank you
now
for that.
anyway,
Thank you for sharing.
Yes. Now you know why I do this. This is to punish people that ask me questions. So I will always give you an answer and then follow it up by something really
No,
bizarre.
you're
And by the way, the person in the audience who said that I should use this as a lifeguard, that was brilliant. That's like something like Addams Family level morbid humor. That good for you. That's hilarious.
all right,
Oh,
here
you
we
found
go.
one?
Here we go. Oh, thank you. I love it.
Look at this guy.
This is awesome.
This is your people right here, Dr. Gary. This is your guy.
Of years ago. Made of high-grade
Oh,
resin and epoxy.
scary. I don't
We
like
first
that.
take the whistle, female sound,
Just blow the-
wind sound to them. Aztec death
Oh.
whistles are
But it's way louder.
That's
It's
so
so
weird.
loud. It was like it's terrifying. But I don't like those disturbing things he made.
great flexibles, and I can assure you,
Oh, that's-
some will
I
have
don't
a
like
male guttural sound, and some will have more of a wind sound to them.
Mine is just an actual authentic.
It's like a banshee.
Exactly.
It's
Mine-
a banshee.
Mine just looks like an Aztec one, like a true original old school one. That is really disturbing. That guy is a piece of work. I bet he. Josh, you think he brings those on dates?
I doubt he goes on dates.
Aw.
I kind of agree with that.
I
Yeah.
mean, come on. He's playing with Aztec death whistles.
Yeah.
But I have one, and people like.
Well,
Yeah,
one,
but
he had 30.
At least you had the wherewithal not to blow into it so it could be clipped forever. Because I would have played that all the time.
You think
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't
so
know
funny.
that? Anyway, all right. So listen, thank you for the call.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. I'm
I
glad
appreciate
that
it.
we had a little bit of fun there. And,
Yes, we did. I appreciate you guys. Have a great night.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
Bye bye. All right, let's go back to let's go back to Heather. Heather, is your connection better?
You know that like everybody in the audience wants one now, right?
I mean, you should see if you can become a brand ambassador.
I like somebody in the audience said they went on a date with the guy who blew the death whistle and ran away.
They saw her coming and they blew it and ran. That's
Come on.
what she's saying.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm done." That's really funny. But the point is that I've always been interested in those things. It was the nature of my life.
Yeah, I know. Okay, Shannon, go ahead. Where are you calling from?
Oh, hi guys. Can you hear me?
Sure can.
Whoa! How are you? What's up?
How'd you like the death?
Sorry,
whistle?
am I too loud?
I'm pretty
Well,
sure
I'm
they
wearing-
can hear you in Bali. How is everything?
Good. I'm just wearing these earphones, earbuds, whatever, and they're from they're really cheap from China, so I don't even know how long they're gonna hold up. But I'm so
Hold on a
excited.
second.
You know that I saw somebody once
Shannon.
drinking smart
Shannon,
water.
hold on a second. Dr.
Okay.
Gary, that is the first time I have ever seen you drink water.
That's true. But I saw somebody drinking smart water once. And
Why are you drinking water?
The person was saying something so deeply stupid that I said to them, "You know that water isn't working."
Are you saying that what I'm saying is stupid?
No.
Well, you haven't said anything. Yeah,
I'm
I'm
sorry.
you
saying
haven't,
because I haven't been on the call long enough for you to troll me yet.
you haven't said anything, so let's give it some time. But
Thank
Dr.
you.
Gary, why are you drinking water?
Most of me is water.
Are you
Josh.
sick?
Most of me is water.
I understand, but there's water and coffee, which is what you've because I've asked you this before. Why the water? I don't know, man. This is like the upside down world.
I know.
All right. Well, Shannon, sorry. I can't get a straight answer out of the guy. He's changed his life. He's got death whistles and water.
One death.
I don't know. I don't know what to say about the water, but the death whistle, especially when you're saying, "Oh," and it makes the sound, and then all you see is the expression in your your hands wave out, but
Yeah, the
you don't
second
blow
one.
into it. It's a little bit disappointing. But I'm really surprised that I got on this call. I've never done a call-in
Well,
show
it's getting
before, so
easier. It's getting easier on the lab because every single time we chase off people, so like it's getting
oh,
where we basically like we might as well have plague or something. At this point, we're walking around with those plague bells on, going, "Hello, is there anyone
well,
willing to be our friend?" Like basically there's like 5 people left that want to talk to us. So it's
okay.
true. It's like
That's
trying to get into like a
that's not true.
what concert would be easy to get into now that like 10 years ago would have been hard? I'm trying to think of a funny answer to that.
Kid Rock.
Like they're outside going, anybody want to listen? Anybody?
I went to a Kid Rock. I went to a Kid Rock concert about 20 years ago, and it was actually cool.
I would listen to Kid Rock, bro.
It was good.
Anyway.
Oh,
Okay.
Uncle Cracker.
Lisa
Uncle
Lee-
Cracker.
Right. Uncle Cracker.
You remember him?
Nobody cares about that.
What did he sing? I think I remember.
He sang a song called "Follow Me, Everything Is All Right."
All right. Okay. Yeah. You went to that concert?
No, I didn't go to an Uncle Cracker concert.
Oh, okay.
It was sold out, unfortunately.
I would not actually see Kid Rock, by the way.
I would go see
Oh.
Kid Rock. I have seen him.
The answer to that is absolutely no.
I've seen him.
I like that some of the audience was like, Dr. Brucato, you're dark and weird.
That's a fact, but that's a good thing.
I wouldn't change myself.
You're dark.
Josh, are you kidding me?
Dark? I mean, you're weird.
You don't think that my humor is very dark?
Yeah, I do, but you're more weird than dark.
No, I think
Either way. Oh, well, either way, you're a little bit like left or right of whatever the center is. You're kind of
But
like
I think
around it.
but I
Popping.
think weird is also relative because I'm weird too.
Are you saying I have weird relatives?
Yeah, you actually do. I've seen your brother before.
All right. Well,
Right,
anyway.
sorry.
Sorry, this is great. No,
Go on.
I'm calling from Canada, up to the East Coast, and usually
Thanks
this
for the smoke.
show is
Appreciate
so
it.
late for me. Well, especially since I know that you're desperate for callers. Now I know I just figured that Joey was on here
That's
before
just
you
not
opened up.
true.
The only way to get the dogs to play with us at this point is we have to wear pork chops around our neck on a necklace,
We are
and then the
not.
dogs come out and they play with us. You know, it's that's the way it is. Yeah.
We are
I just-
not desperate for callers.
I just want to make sure too that I'm staying on track. So I know I can't ask you any clinical questions,
No.
Dr. Gary, and I can't talk about Crime Con, right?
You can talk about Crime Con.
Oh, am I allowed to talk about that? Okay.
I know where this is
That's what
going.
you're about to ask. I mean,
Well, no, no, I don't know, and I'm not allowed to ask about.
the sleeping
about-
quarters.
Oh,
I'm not in
What?
the mood for that. I've had that conversation too many times. My dance card is full.
Whatever.
no, I wasn't gonna ask that either. Anyway, gonna go on. Okay, number 3. No, I just wanted to say that I watched the interview room last night and with the Nancy Guthrie stuff, and I just enjoyed that analysis so much. And
Which one about the opposite speak?
yes, yeah, just all of that stuff, and also thinking back to how, like you guys kind of, I don't know, painted basically like a picture of like even like Kroberger and Huraman, and also I love the way that you say Huraman. Somehow you get like an extra syllable in there that I don't know how
the
it
right way to
happens.
say it. Hoyaman.
Say it again.
Hoyaman.
You should hear him say cappuccino.
But that's how you say it. Hoyaman.
How do you say cappuccino?
Cappuccino.
Told you. I told you.
How are you supposed to say it?
I don't know.
Well,
Cappuccio means hood. Cappuccino means a little hood.
Yeah.
okay. Oh,
Cappuccio is a hood. I can't believe that you think it's weird to say it correctly.
No,
well,
we don't think,
yeah,
yeah, we do think it's weird to say correctly, which is the
I get
fun
a,
part.
I get a kick out of it. Do you order your French food with a French accent?
I speak
Yes,
French.
he does. He absolutely, he's
Does
fluent in
he?
French.
I
Yeah.
love it.
You're a Canadian. That's
Yes.
so now.
Yeah.
Now look, moving along. So
Cappuccino.
what's your
I'm so
question
sorry.
about?
Honestly, I think that this is going in the perfect direction because I have an idea for a segment on the lab
Oh no.
for Josh and and I think that it would like increase viewership, so you wouldn't be worrying about, having enough people to call in and
I
all
can
the things.
guarantee whatever you're going to say.
Where is this going to go?
I
Where
can guarantee whatever you're going to say
going?
would probably decrease it, but I'm willing to listen. Let's see where this
Oh,
goes.
Okay,
God,
okay.
where is this about to go?
Well, I was just thinking about all the kind of the way that, Dr. Gary's mind works, and then Josh, how you troll him, and I just love that kind of back and forth, the trolling and the like random
Yeah.
screaming vases and
Yeah.
things on Gary's stuff. So I was thinking you could do a segment, and the chat can kind of tell you that they agree with me that we want to see how, like, it could be called like Josh and Dr. Gary react. Okay. And like,
Okay.
so find like these people can send in these kind of strange, quirky, like hilarious little like YouTube videos. And we just look at your reaction, and you guys can react and kind of see like where does Gary's mind go with this random thing? Like how does he connect it? In all the ways. So I think that would be really, really
What
funny
do you
and
want
have
me to have?
absolutely nothing to do with true
What do
crime.
you want our spontaneous reaction to?
We want you to pull out the death whistle and start blowing it immediately.
Ask us something and you'll get our honest reaction. Go ahead.
Oh, I don't know. Like I'm just thinking of things that I would just think it would be really fun to see you guys react to. Like, I don't know, like, some old QVC commercials, like the laugh and snack, like, or you could probably find tiger moves, which is a real thing. And if you're looking
Caller's
for
name, Josh.
What's that?
What's the caller's name?
Shannon.
Shannon, I assure you this would be the crown jewel in my career. But let's just say that having reactions to talking about boots sold on QVC is probably not why I went to school for all those years. Like Dr. Evil. I didn't go to Evil school for 13 years. Right.
well, that's just it, right?
Not the crown jewel in my career, but I suppose, like the Shakespearean actor who in his old age has to play, Milazor on like the Space Odyssey TV show to make a buck. I suppose that in my older years I will do things like that. I will be, like one of those Robert Stack types that appears on crime shows, ridiculous crime shows and talks about theories like, was the Zodiac killer the same as Jack the Ripper? And, was Bigfoot responsible for the Lindbergh baby? But the thing is,
There's something to that, by the way.
actually believes that. But all I know is it's a lovely idea, but my reaction is no. But thank you.
I love that you've drawn, that line in the sand. But I just want you to, you should really.
There's two things he won't do. He won't do reaction videos, and he won't do the death whistle.
I don't understand that though, because honestly, yes, you're right. It is kind of past the point of, all the things that you do know, and of course we value that in you. But I just think, yeah, you're blowing your death whistle. The only difference is I think you're reacting, but the difference would be you're reacting now, you kind of act out a little bit of your show, and then
It's
you
all
react to it that way.
it's all play. The reality is that I think it takes a very confident person to act like a fool,
Well,
Because
then I
I-
must be the
I-
most confident person. I must be the most confident person in the world.
No, it's
Then.
a confidence thing. It's that it doesn't bother me if people, like, who cares that I'm having a little fun? You know what I mean? It's
I-
it's
I-
a little fun, The
I
life is short.
agree. Exactly. Yeah. Life is too
Life-
short.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
And Angela in the audience says next because she's not thoroughly entertained. So,
Wait, who said that? Who said
so bring
that?
Angela.
I'm
Angela
sorry. Yeah, I really did
next. She's like,
derail the true crime.
Well, wait
Yeah.
a minute. Wait a minute. Before you go, is Angela on the line? Let me see. Oh no, she's not. Then shut up.
no, she just means like.
No.
No, she can shut up. I hate when people do that.
Well, listen. Unfortunately, we don't dance. This is the whole show. So,
Oh.
but thank you very much, Shannon, for calling. And that idea, let's just say it wouldn't last very long on Shark Tank.
Well, we'll just put it in your back pocket, right?
Yeah, but I appreciate it, and I
No.
just keep on watching and enjoy the naturally occurring reactions.
Okay, that's fair. All right, take care, guys.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, good night.
Okay, bye-bye.
Like it drives me nuts when people go. They're like, "Oh, next caller," and then you look, you're like, "Well, is this person like waiting on the line or something?" No, they're not. They want to be the program director. Just go away.
I like the people in the audience actually bought death whistles. Like there are actually people in the audience going like, I had to have it.
That's absolutely terrifying.
You should sell them through the lab.
Yeah, you should put them on the merch store.
Yeah,
maybe
great.
we'll do that.
That's fun.
Let's see here. All right,
It
T-Walk,
should
go
actually
ahead.
be in the shape of you and me, like, and then and you blow into it and it goes like, what a stupid call, like it's like. All right, go on.
Oh, this is a great comment. He will do anything for lab, but he won't do that.
I will do anything.
T-Walk, go ahead. You're on. Where are you calling from?
Oh, really?
All right, I've never heard of that place.
I think it's tucked away behind Jupiter. Next.
I'm gonna try Heather again. Heather, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, kind of.
Heather, I don't know where you're calling from, but it sounds damp.
You can't hear me, guys?
It sounds underwater.
Yes.
You're somewhere very damp.
Dr. B, I want to talk to you.
All right, I hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Sort of.
I'm damp. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Every third word, maybe.
You can?
A little better. We can hear you a little better. Go ahead.
I hear you. Go on.
God.
All right. Got him. We'll try again. Let's see.
I feel bad because Heather's
Okay.
great. Too.
I know. We'll keep trying.
Next.
Pamela, go ahead, Pamela. We'll try again. Let's see.
Is that Pamela who wrote to me earlier?
I don't think so. But Pamela, you got to mute your. All right. Let's go to a. Joey H is in the house. What's up, Joey?
Holy cow. I'm on the. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, we can hear you fine.
Yeah, wow. This is crazy, man, because actually set my alarm and I fell asleep. So,
Nice. Were we out rocking
I'm
and
on the
rolling?
show and I fell asleep.
I don't rock and roll, man. I had all prepared for the night, man, so I'm glad I figured out to wake up. I want to start off with this, man. I want to start off with the rodent thing. I'm supposed to be some kind of rodent on Pixel Vision or something like that. From Mr. Gary. Smile,
Oh,
Gary. Don't be so
that was a
serious.
joke.
Yeah, smile. Shave your beard. Smile. I have a whole list of rodents here, man. I got, let me see here. I got Gundus. I got Sping hairs. I got African mole rats. I got cavies. I'm trying to figure out who I am. I highlighted jumping mice, and jumping rice. I would put me more in the category of mouse, like hamsters or muskrats. What am I, Gary? Smile. You're not smiling, Gary. You look very serious.
You're a
Friday night. I don't like the seriousness. I don't like the
honey
beard.
badger.
Shave your beard. What am
You're
I? What am I?
You're a honey badger.
I'm a honey. Wow.
That's pretty good.
Those
I'm
are
only
supposed to be
joking.
very. That's
I don't
supposed
know
to
what
be
you look like.
I don't think that was on the list.
You seen pictures of me with the cheap glasses. The honey badgers
Well,
are supposed to be.
wasn't you.
That wasn't me. Yeah, you're actually correct. So listen, the honey badgers are supposed to be very aggressive, correct?
A honey badger will eat anything.
They kill cobras, right? Don't they kill cobras?
Yeah, you know the thing about the thing about the honey badger is that they can be bitten by a venomous snake, and it only sedates them for a little bit. They wake up. They wake up, then they kill the thing, eat it, and then their body doesn't absorb the poison.
I didn't know that. Wow.
It's amazing.
I did not know that. I know
they're
incredible. I know they could kill cobras. I didn't know that.
You're very honey badger like.
Yeah, they can get bit by a venomous snake and it will not kill them.
Yeah, you're still not smiling, Mr. Brucato.
I'm going to call you Joey Badger from now on.
Yeah, can you please smile? Can I pay you to smile? I buy you coffee.
Smile, baby. Smile.
There you go. There you go. As you're trying to get monetized, smile. You're doing raffles. Smile. Come on, it's Friday night. Smile, Gary. That's a fake smile. It's a phony smile. It's not really. It's not a real one. I'm a New Yorker.
Say something amusing and I'll laugh.
Gary Brucato. That's very funny. Come on, man. Smile. You're not smile. Whatever, man. All right. So let me tell you.
You got a joke for me?
I don't got jokes. I am a joke. Listen. So a couple of recommendations. I always recommend stuff. So I'm going to start with a book, and it's a really good book. I drive a lot for my job. I'm all over New York.
Where do you drive, Joey Badger?
Don't worry about that. But I drive a lot. I drive a lot for my job, and I wake up at 4:35. I wake up at 5:35, 4:35 in the morning. I drive all over New York. I know New York like the back of my hand. Unfortunately, Waze is my best friend.
How well do you know the back of your hand?
So I don't know the back of my hand that well, to be honest with you, but I know Waze very well. So the book I'm going to recommend is an audio book, even though it's a book and it's really good. And I recommend to the chat is called The Book of Quint. Do you know anything, Mr. Brucato? You know everything. You know everything, right? So what do you know about the book?
I do not have this. Hold on a minute.
God bless America. Second book I've freaking hit it.
Let me look.
No,
hold on.
You don't need to look that much. You don't know it.
I'm assuming it has something to do with Jaws.
Correct. Yes, correct.
Right, so
yeah, leave it alone at that, man. Just put it on your list. So last year I did the 50th anniversary of Jaws. It was a big deal for me. I actually went to Martha's Vineyard for the anniversary. Incredible experience. At the little local museum, and they have the tour. You know, I did the Jaws tour.
Yeah.
And the book was approved by Peter Benchley's family. The
author of Jaws. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. The family approved the book because they didn't approve any other books, but they did approve the book. Mm-hmm. And it's basically, it was going to be the sequel. Originally, it was supposed to be the sequel of Jaws was going to be the origin of the USS Indianapolis story of Quint and the history of Amityville Island, so the book of, I cannot recommend it enough to the chat and to you. It's so interesting because what the book does is it covers the history of the island, which they were trying to the island always had a shark problem, which is why they hired Quint to deal with the shark issue, because they were trying to market the island as a vacation stay. And so the book's really good. I'm a shark cage guy.
I'm going to add it to my list.
Please. And if you could do the audiobook, just because the performances on the characters is stupendous. I can't. And by the way, I can't believe I woke up for this, man. I literally came out of bed for you guys.
I can't believe it either.
Yeah, I
Really
came out of
bad
bed.
they don't give it.
I came out of bed. I've been waiting for a while for this, and yeah, I'm a shark cage diver. You know, I like to go shark cage diving around the world, and I will, as before I ask my question, which deals with the 70s, I will.
Hence the Jaws thing. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, except Jaws was 70s, right? Yeah,
All right.
and
okay.
Jaws. I talked
Do a
about
little dance, make a
I
little
talked
love.
about a little story. I talked about the book. I went start shark cage diving in different places. Guadalupe Island is the best place because the water is clearest there by Mexico, by
That's
San
cool.
Diego. Yeah, but they closed. They suspended those. You know, people lost money. They suspended that shark cage diving there.
Oh,
But in Montauk, which actually the book was based on Long Island, it was based on stories of an actual story on Long Island. I do Montauk cage diving. A little fun story, a true story, is I had bought what's called a Black Magic pocket camera, movie camera. They're small. They're palm size. How you doing, Josh? I see you so serious there.
No,
You
I'm
look
just
good.
I'm just
You look
listening. I'm
you
locked
look
in.
Yeah, you look good, man. You are locked in. You look
Appreciate
good.
it. Thank you.
Yeah, you look good. Are you by the way, are you going to convince Gary to go to your hotel room for the
you got to
for,
stop.
for
Hey, guess what? You know what just happened?
yeah.
The New Evil became the #2 bestseller in all of criminal and forensic psychology on Amazon.
Well,
Gary, why is that so important to you? What do
Because
you care?
it
Why
means
do you
that
care whether what do you care about? If the book is
Because
good,
it
you're
means
gonna
that
read
being
this.
on
What do
the
you
show is leading to people buying copies.
about a whole lot of murders? Why does that matter to you so much? There's a lot of killers out there, man. I had today about which is probably why I put myself to sleep.
You rode on the subway?
I had a serial murderer contact me. I was dying to close his case.
Oh, I told
He
my mother to stop
contacted me.
calling you.
Yeah, well, she didn't listen. Let's go back to the Jaws thing. I don't want to get into this story.
That's her name. How'd you know?
Yeah.
Well, but Joey, what's he supposed to do? Be like bummed out that his book's doing badly, or
he sold the book a lot. So I put a big review on it. He should be working on his next book. When you're drop dead, the book's out there. You're infamous already, man. Don't worry about the sales of a book. Yeah, you are. And people are gonna go back on YouTube and they're gonna find this Josh thing and they're gonna hear me blabbing my big mouth out, and you're gonna be a big hero once again. Let me talk about my thing that happened on the shark cage dive, bro. So I went on Montauk, right? And I'm going shark cage diving, and I got my black. It's called a Black Magic pocket camera. They're small.
Yes, go on.
I spent about a week and a half, 2 weeks, figuring out how to get this underwater to film. I figured it out. I was so proud of myself. I'm patting myself on the back, even though you can't see it. I'm actually not. I'm lying to you, but I'm going to say that I'm patting myself on the back. And I went in the shark cage. And so in Montauk, there's about one or two. This is one. This guy made his own cage. I'm not going to say who he is. You can Google it up. It's a very good shark cage dive in Montauk. So when you go to Long Island, when you go out there, you go in this guy's cage, man. And when you go underwater, you don't know what the hell you're gonna run. You don't know what shark you're gonna run to. Makos are crazy. MAKOs are crazy.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. Oh, you know, because you know a lot. So the ocean.
Go on.
Yeah. So we go underwater. One particular woman is on her cycle. All right. So she goes underwater. She goes in the cage with me without telling anybody. They're chumming the water, which you're not supposed to do. But this guy's doing his own thing.
Those are the fastest sharks, right?
It makes sense because they're very crazy. They jump on the little boat. We had a little boat. They jump on the boat. They're very aggressive. The scariest ones.
They're a type of mackerel shark, and they're the fastest. Yeah, they're very scary.
Yeah, you're very serious. You still need to smile, Gary. But yes, so we're going under, and of course, you don't know what you're gonna run into. Hammerheads are aggressive. The scariest ones, believe it or not, are not great whites, although they can be a problem. Are the tiger sharks. So the woman who goes in the cage with me, this man-made cage that the guy made, and he's basically drunk at this point. He's pushing. Everybody can drink once you're 3 hours out here. This guy's saying. We go underwater, and the woman's on her cycle, and she lets one of her female napkins loose. Okay,
Dangerous shark.
Yes, and a tiger shark approaches and gets aggressive and starts pouncing at our cage and hits the boat once. Right. They pull us out. They pull us out of the cage, this little small cage, and my camera, which I had built a bag around to shoot. I shot underwater, and I got great footage, by the way. When they pull us out, I was so nervous because basically the thing was going to kill me. And listen, that's a way to die. I would say that's a good way to die. To be eaten by a shark, it's quite something. It's quite something.
Yeah,
on an epitaph, that's something to say. So anyway, they pull us out, and I got the footage right, but my camera starts smoking because it leaked. It leaked water into the bag, and as we're on this tiny little boat, the camera catches on fire because of the short circuited the camera. So I had to trash the battery, the big battery pack, and we had to get the Coast Guard to save us. Was that a good story? Or was that a waste of time?
No, it was a good story. I liked it.
Yeah, that's what happened to me.
Terrible.
We'll get to the.
It's terrifying, actually.
We'll get
It's
to
a
the
disturbing story. I don't know what to say about it, other than that it's authentically very scary. I mean, it is, if you think about it. I mean, I would be. I mean, no, I don't know. I'd be terrified. I would be sort of fascinated, actually.
But I mean, don't people know that that's a bad idea? Is that not something that's that's talked about beforehand before you get?
Very, very good question. Let me tell you something, Ren. And I've done some crazy shit. Every year I do a crazy thing. Hot air balloons and shark cage diving are two very scary things. I've done them both. I recommend them to the chat. But what happens with these things is they don't give you the release that you sign a form before you get on either the wooden basket or the shark until you get on that little quint boat, the Orca boat. And then you sign, if you die, you're signing your life over to it. So yeah, it's scary.
I happen to love hot air balloons. I'm fascinated.
I understand, but Joey, I understand that you sign a waiver.
Yeah.
But don't they say like, hey, if you have, blood attracts sharks, so if somebody has an open wound or is on their menstrual cycle, it's probably not a good idea for you to go in. They don't say that to you?
They did not say that.
Wow.
I didn't know this happened. She was apologizing to me as the Coast Guard was approaching. It was a very small boat. It was smaller than the Orca.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
We would have needed a better boat. It was smoking a lot, man.
That was good.
I was just, that was a good one. He's still not. He's smiling.
He was smiling.
He's smiling.
He got a smile.
He's smiling. He looks like he's forced to do this, but he's smiling a little bit.
You got him in a headlock.
I got him in a headlock. Yeah, he got a haircut.
Now, in all seriousness, that story really made my day. Is there a crime-related question that you have to ask us?
Do you see Josh? He's rushing it.
I know.
He's rushing it, Josh. He's in a bad mood tonight. He's rushing
He's on you.
There is a question I'm going to run into,
I'm
man.
not in a bad mood, but you are astute.
You're not goofy.
You are astute that something is on my mind.
Yeah, I'm a very astute character, bro. I'm a rat. Didn't you say I was a weasel or a ram or rodent?
Badger.
Your voice makes you a wonderful cartoon.
I'm a Norway rat.
You're a badger.
I'm a high-class rodent. Listen, let me tell you something.
They're gonna put the rabbit out to dry. Like,
So
you got that kind of gangster voice. That's all.
So I don't know about all that. So I wanted to recommend, and I am going to ask the question now, and it's going to be about Rebecca Schaefer, of course. Oh, right! Look at he knows all about it. Look at him.
Of course, I have artwork from Robert Bardo.
Wow, yeah. So the movie I wanted to recommend was The Witness. Have you seen that in 2015? Did you? What do you know about that? Go ahead, Gary. Go ahead.
I'm gonna pull it up in my database.
Don't pull it up. Just go out off the top of your head.
I
We
haven't seen
talked
it.
about it already.
Kitty Genovese, come
Yeah.
on. What do you know
What
about
about
St. Do you know about St. John's? Do you know about St. John's? I used to go
The-
every year.
The
What do you know?
university?
No, I'm talking about the cemetery. What do you know about St. John's
St.
in
John
Queens?
Cemetery is walking distance from my home. It's
So what do you know about St. John's? It's not
it's
walking distance. You're
very
in
well.
Manhattan. This is Queens.
No, I'm not in Manhattan. I live in Queens, and
All right. So what do you know about
it
St.
is an
John's?
epicenter of mafia burial.
Very good. Keep
And
going.
quite fascinating for that reason.
Very good.
But a beautiful
all right.
sprawling Catholic cemetery where many members of my family are buried.
All right. So yeah. So all the 5 families are buried there, including Gotti, and he's buried with his son, Frank, his little boy who got run over by the bicycle. So with the bicycle. So Kitty Genovese. Gary, go ahead. Tell us
That was
about
at the ale house. That's not
the bystander effect. Tell us.
Yes, I know. Well, I just actually somebody who was in the audience was the winner of my raffle book on her.
Oh wow, you had a book on her. Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, Kitty Genovese is an infamous case.
It's her anniversary recently. Interesting.
It's an infamous case where she was sort of standing there, and was assaulted,
Yeah.
cut up and everything else, and all these people sort of stuck their heads out the window and watched, and nobody did anything.
Well, you're talking about Schaefer? You're talking about
no, they're about Kitty Genovese.
Yeah, right, yes.
And it led to this
38
construct
people.
of the bystander effect.
Yes.
And then, of course, you'll know it if you know your the Seinfeld, because that's how it ends, right? The bystander effect got them arrested. But it was it's all about, like, do people do something, or do they get afraid of being involved?
It's a little more than that. They made laws for it. It's a little more than that.
They were terrible people, and it ended up getting them in trouble at the end of their lives.
Right, which I think is fun. But so what's the question exactly? You just wanted to summarize that, like, in her honor for the audience or something, or
that's because you're in a bad mood. No, it's not.
You wanted to talk about Rebecca Schaefer? Well, the Rebecca Schaefer murder.
Well, just Gary, take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Smile. Can you smile? Can you do a little smile?
No, we're done with that. Listen,
do you have any raffle books? Any raffle books? Because you're so I want you to be happy tonight. I want you to be happy, man. Come on, think of $6 million man.
Now, listen.
My question: 38 people saw and heard what happened to Kitty Genovese, and they did nothing. How have things changed today? And I wanted to talk about because this is the recent anniversary for Rebecca Schaefer.
6 days ago was the anniversary.
Exactly, and but you haven't been online for 6 days, which is why I had to sit here and wait, and I fell asleep. But she starred on her co-star, which I find very interesting.
My sister Sam.
Right. She starred who's she married to? Gary, you know everything, Gary. Who's she married to?
Who, Rebecca Schaefer?
Yeah, go ahead. No, her co-star, Pam Dauber.
You mean Pam Dauber?
Yeah.
She was married to Mark Harmon, who famously played Ted Bundy.
He did an incredible job. He refused to meet. I met him. He refused to meet Ted Bundy while he made that film. That's how ethical he was. But she starred.
Did you know that?
Say it again.
You know he was a quarterback.
Oh wow! He just recently released a book. He co-wrote a book with a CIA guy. Pam Dauber starred in Mork and Mindy, right? With
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams, who committed suicide, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. And then she starred with Rebecca Schaefer on My Sister Sam, who got killed by her stalker. So let's just get to the chase. Like, so how have stalking laws changed? I had a cousin, Lisa Roscoe. Lisa Roscoe got murdered. My cousin got killed. She had a stalker. She was in Florida. She did everything she could to do something about it. She couldn't. The guy, I'll just tell you straight up, man. You can Google her, Lisa Roscoe. She lived in Florida. She was my favorite cousin, and she ended up. There was nothing she could do. She came home one night. She broke up with the guy in Florida, and her window was open. She figured he had gotten in. Something had happened. She went into her home, her house, rented house. He was there. He took her baby out of her arms. True story. Google it. He took the baby out of her arms and slammed the door on her and threw her on the ground. She broke her leg. She broke her kneecap. And he had put gasoline all over the house. He wrapped her baby up, Lisa's baby up. He lit a match. He wrapped the baby to protect the baby. When he lit the match, he stupidly didn't realize that it was the fumes that was flammable. So when he lit the gasoline, the whole house basically imploded. It literally imploded.
Oh.
When she was outside, she screamed for help. Neighbors like this situation we're talking about with Pam Dauber. No one was responding to her, seeing her with her broken kneecap on the street, on the front of her house. It gets crazier, guys. So the house implodes. The guy jumps out of the window and starts running for his life on full flames, on fire. As he runs on fire behind their home, there was a train. The train runs over his body. He lives. He lives for a few days, not long, and he dies in the hospital. And it became a major case for stalker laws, her situation. Oprah tried to get her on TV and whatnot.
That's horrible. I'm so sorry.
It is terrible.
That is a terrible story because I love Lisa so much, and that's what happened to us. So, what do you have to say about stalker laws, both of you guys? I'm just curious because not a whole lot has been modified with protecting celebrities and the public from stalker situations. So this is a very broad question about stalker laws, and my story about Lisa Roscoe, who I recommend you guys Google her. She was my closest cousin, and we don't even talk anymore. She cut everybody off after this happened. So let's hear what you have to say about this.
Well, first of all, this is something that came up with the Koberger case, right? With the whole he didn't stalk. You remember that? And of course, in order to know where somebody lives that you're fixating on, there has to be some degree of stalking, and I think there's certainly cyber stalking. So look, the reality is that over the past 2.5, let's say 2 decades, stalker laws have mostly changed to transition from something that has to happen in person to something that can technologically occur, right? So like following someone online, obsessively writing to them that way, sending them many text messages, whatever. So that's been a big deal.
Interesting. Very good point.
Yes, and there's also been a very big shift toward changing the legal definition as a result of that, which is a big deal. And then also the idea that there's been a greater consideration of the question of what constitutes free speech. Because, so like, for example, if I'm writing tons of comments under somebody's Instagram photo, they could feel that they're being stalked, but I can post something in a public setting, right? And look, have I ever had a person that had that kind of stalkery kind of quality? Yeah, I have, and Josh, you might have too, and it happens, but the thing is, like, it's that it's at least with the electronic, there's a trail. Like somebody could easily see the endlessness of it.
It's a good point.
I think it was a lot harder years ago when you just were like, I get the ick from somebody, as they say. I hate that expression, but I get from somebody that just keeps hanging around, buzzing around me, won't stop talking. Now, personally, I think the worst, most egregious case of stalking I've ever heard of was the stalking of Lisa Black by Richard Farley. There's a whole chapter about that in The New Evil. You remember that he went out for like a lunch with her and thought that she was in love with him, and then he started writing her hundreds of letters and doing things like sending her weird gifts like a mirror and a turkey platter and things. And then every time she would move to get away,
hey Gary, that's why I don't date, right? Keep going.
Yeah, that's why.
That's why I'm happily single. Keep going.
Right, and then like he would do things like she would move, and then she would go outside, and under her car windshield wiper was like a Xerox of the new key, so that she would know that he had figured out where she was and had a copy of her house key. And then, of course, when she got a restraining order, he interpreted it, well, if I'm never going to see you again, then I'm going out with a blaze. And so he showed up at her office and shot many people she worked with so that she would have to live, at least some people say, so she would have to live with the guilt.
But Gary, Gary, you feel that's mental illness, right?
Well, I mean, look, I can't comment on whether he is mentally ill.
Why not? Why not?
I never analyzed him. It's not appropriate. But I think that other people have certainly questioned his obsessionality with her. And so I just think that's a really good example of how something that was intended to protect her wound up leading to tragedy.
Yeah, but when did you say this was?
Oh, the Richard Farley case. I don't remember the year off the top of my head, but let me take a look if I can pull it up. I know it was the ESL shooting, and I think it was the late 80s.
Yeah.
But I think it was like 1988.
Because there were. I mean, I don't know about anywhere else in the country, but I know in California there was no anti-stalking laws until 1990. It was more there were really no tools specifically back in the 80s. And when my situation with my mother was going on, they had very little recourse. Officers had almost no recourse whatsoever. It was just considered sort of a public nuisance and a minor infraction with, but nothing to hold somebody or. So I believe the first anti-stalking law in California, first legislation was in 1990. And then that's when things sort of tightened up and got a little bit better. But my father was accused and admitted to stalking, which he called spying, which was, just a kind of a ridiculous thing. But yeah, we're talking about hiding under the house, things like that, just crazy kind of behavior that was reported, and nothing was done because there was no legislation.
Josh, I didn't even think about this. Josh, I didn't even consider that when I told you about my cousin Lisa. It is Josh, it's very similar. Very interesting. Very similar, Josh. Wow.
Yeah, it's sad.
And to this day, Josh, right? There hasn't been really great legislation that has changed stalking laws, Josh.
No, and it's a very high.
Josh,
it's a very high.
Why is that, Josh? Why do you think that is?
I don't. You know what? To be honest with you, I don't know, because kind of like what Dr. Gary said is like some people, unfortunately, the people that need it the most, don't report it enough, and the people that don't need it over-report it, and they try to get people in trouble for things that aren't crimes. If you just have like a disagreement, I'm going to call, the people that I'm going to call the cops on you. And it sort of dilutes the actual situations that really call.
Sure.
Yeah. And it sucks. It's actually really sad.
Well, you should look into, Joey, the CREEP Act, which, they're trying to get.
You're chewing gum, Gary. You're chewing gum.
I was getting dry mouth. That's why I was drinking the water.
Okay, got you.
So the idea is that, I mean, Joey, who cares? Now listen.
I care. Take the seriousness out of this. This is some serious stuff, man.
Yeah,
Thank you.
That's a good point.
So
if we read for immediate release, April 30th, 2026, survivors of stalking and harassment, lawmakers and advocates and allies held a press conference this morning on the steps of Brooklyn Borough Hall, urging the New York State Assembly to pass the CREEP Act. Legislation that would allow stalking victims to seek civil orders of protection regardless of their relationship to the person stalking them. The legislation would modernize outdated stalking protections, create civil anti-stalking recourse before harm escalates, and bring New York in line with 43 states, including New York's 5 neighbors, already offering broader protections. Now, I think that's great. See, and then it says under current New York law, civil orders of protection, court orders that a victim could seek without a criminal case, can only be obtained by those with familial or intimate relationships to the person stalking them. This antiquated relationship requirement leaves many victims, such as those targeted by coworkers, strangers, and online harassers, without access to civil protective orders. These New Yorkers are completely reliant on law enforcement prioritizing their case and intervening before it's too late. New York is one of the only 7 states that deny its residents the modern, comprehensive stalking protections the Creep Act would offer New Yorkers. And I think that's crazy.
Yeah,
I think
have that. So I mean, that's
a crazy moniker, though, to call it a Creep Act. That's a bad title.
What would you have called it, Dr. Gary, if you got to name it? Because you like naming stuff.
Creep? That's a terrible.
Yeah, I think I would call it like something like the Greater Stalking Protection Act or something like that.
Okay. I think
that's better. Yeah,
that's better. That's better.
But I think that creep, that's like a cute, kind of.
It's not that cute, man. It's like calling someone a rat. It's not that cute.
I think there's something a little whiffy.
I think when he said cute, it was kind of like facetious.
Yeah, they're trying to be cute, but I don't think it's cute. And but I think that now I don't know if that passed after it was announced on April 30th or when, but I think that that's a really good example of how they could modernize stalking laws.
Yeah.
They also need certain things that need to be standardized. For example, when I did that database with Dr. Gerges, one of the things I was seriously considering doing was putting together like a list of steps that could be taken by an institution, like a school, to try to prevent mass shooting incidents, and then to try to get them standardized across all institutions. But you would need like a whole panel of people to get together, experts to get together to kind of put that together. But like simple things like that, like the lanyard students wear around their neck with an ID card has like a button on the back that you could press to instantly call law enforcement, like things like that, or like an app on your phone that you hit the button and it automatically calls so that someone can, while the tragedy is occurring. There are things like that
like help me, I've fallen, I can't get up, kind of a thing. Like with those,
like a life alert.
Or even like the idea of like you're getting assaulted by someone on campus, you press the button. I mean, or even like greater protections in terms of getting on the campus. Like Chris McDonough talks about the mass shooting incident out where his son, he's talked about his son having been involved. The guy basically with a suit on strolled onto the campus with a hit list. So it's like, that there are steps that could be taken, and then even like people that have certain signs, like being able to bring them to the attention of the school, that there are steps that I think should be taken. So same thing with stalking, like you need standardization.
Standardization. Like a Aztec death whistle.
Gary, what do you feel is preventing? What's preventing that, Gary?
You would need
legislatively.
First of all, in the current climate, good luck getting anybody to fund or be interested in anything.
That's a political angle. What, generally speaking, we're talking about the 90s. We're talking about 20 years at this point. What is preventing these laws from being implemented, these stalking laws? What's preventing that for the past 20 years?
It's a really good question. I mean, to be honest with you, I think it's just that the law is a machine that is antiquated like everything else. I mean, and when it is moving, it's usually powered by the viscous grease of slimy psychopaths, as opposed to being motivated to do good.
But bipartisan support on a law like that, it kind of baffles me that there is an issue with bipartisan support on something like this. For the past 20 years, I'd have to look into that. That's kind of baffling to me. It seems like a pretty straightforward issue. I've talked about my Lisa Roscoe, my cousin in Florida. That's a red state.
It's more like 35 years.
Yeah.
It's even longer than that.
Yeah. California, Josh, that's a blue state. So I mean, we're talking. This is
across
the board. I don't know. It's very weird that
it's a crime that's not taken seriously.
Very strange. Very strange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Sure is.
I'll let you go, Gary. Can you, before I get off? I'm looking right at you. Can you give me a sincere smile? You got to put the gum in your mouth. Can you smile for me?
There it is. I saw it.
I'm Joey. It's Joey on the phone. The rat, the rodent, the weasel. Can you
badger.
smile for me? The badger.
It's the
There
smile
you
that I
go.
have to use to
Smile,
gain the
badger.
confidence of a rodent.
Shave the beard, man. Shave the beard.
Why? I like the beard.
I like the beard too. You got the, but it might bring a change to you. I don't know. You're not happy.
That's what the beard was for.
I don't need to change, Joey.
Listen, I love you guys. I was asleep. I woke up. I'm sorry if I'm out of it. I guess the moral of the day is stay off of shark cage diving for a bit. And if someone's on their menstrual cycle, don't jump in the water.
Well,
Jaws 2 is not that bad of a movie when you read the book of Quint. Take care of you guys. Take care of yourselves.
Bye-bye.
Right. Josh, you look great in your haircut. Bye.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Oh, I don't know me.
Good old Joey, my guy. Let's see.
This is a good question.
Oh, yeah. He's always got great questions. He loves giving you shit, though, huh? Janet, go ahead. We'll just go back to back here.
Hello.
Look at that face. Smile, Dr. Gary.
Oh, my God. What a greeting.
Yeah.
How are you? I didn't get the CD. They can't find it.
Oh, my Lord.
They can't find it. Lost. The mail room has no idea what I'm talking about.
Really?
Okay. Well, I'm just going to have to start from scratch and get another copy because I'm going to get that CD to you, I swear. So stand by. Well, don't stand by, but...
You have a piece of paper in your hand, don't you?
I did have a piece of
And what does that piece of paper say on it? Is it a list of all the things you want to talk about? Is it a list of things you intend to speak about?
No, not really.
Good.
It was some ideas I wrote earlier, but no. But
I like it better when you're off the cuff. You know what I mean?
He said, good.
Yeah, exactly.
But you don't like when somebody calls in and they say they have a list? Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, it's just that when Janet tries to stick to a topic, it gets funny. Like it's funnier when she's all over the place. It's funnier is what I mean to say when you're random. I find you very funny when you let your brain just like out to play, you know?
You say good.
You're funny.
Crumple that paper up right now.
Throw that plan away.
No, I closed the notebook. That's fine. That's fine. But I was
it's a notebook, Josh.
Even worse.
Well, I was happy to hear last night that you were a fan of Harold and Maude.
Oh yeah, my one of my favorite movies. I told you I was pen pals with many members of the cast. So
that's just unbelievable.
It's not unbelievable. Bud Cort lived here in Manhattan. Lived in the next borough in Manhattan. I had met him and interacted with him. He died recently.
I said what I said.
And Vivian Pickles, I used to write to in England, where she lived, and I corresponded with a few of the obscure people in it. Charles Tyner, who played the uncle with the one arm. I used to talk to him on the phone. I corresponded with Ellen Geer at one point. I used to write to her. I don't know if she would remember it, who plays Sunshine Duray, the woman who does the Shakespeare scene with Harold. I met Yusuf Islam, who is Cat Stevens, who did the score one time. It's a great movie. I love it. And it's very weird, but I like the morbid thing of it. And that came up because I showed my little hearse Matchbox car, and then people asked if I like Harold and Maude. I never.
Well, it's another classic.
I did think about playing the banjo. Yeah,
his hearse. That was the best, dude. That made me laugh. I mean that brought a big smile to my face, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so you like Harold and Maude? That's great.
Yeah, it's another classic that came out when I was a college student. And we had a freshman that year named Steve who actually drove a hearse.
Oh, I wonder what became of him.
Well, we all did too, because he disappeared after his freshman year, and
Of
nobody heard from
course
him.
he did. That kind of goes with driving a hearse.
Yeah. But when Harold and Maude came out, and he really was like the character in Harold, and he was like Harold. He was a
Oh, I would have loved.
very depressed kind of guy, quiet, tall, slender, big eyes. And when the movie came out, my friends and I all jumped into the hearse with him and drove to the movie theater. to
I
see
wonder
Harold
whatever
and
happened to him.
Oh,
He drove you to the movies in a hearse?
Yeah, to Harold and Maude specifically. So I just thought I would.
Dr. Gary, my grandma is going to kill me for saying this, but in the 60s, she got a DUI driving a hearse.
What?
really?
True.
Oh, that's really, really interesting.
She's going to be so pissed that I said that.
Did she regularly drive a hearse?
That was the car she had at the time.
Wow. Wow. Amazing.
When she and I just recently found this story out probably like a year ago. It was the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Oh,
It was in 1960. Come on, let's she
Well,
hasn't
anyway.
drank in 40 years.
Josh, I think the tagline for your show should be that we put the fun in funeral. Now, enough jokes about hearses. Janet, were you going somewhere?
Yeah, to
Like,
the
where were you
moon.
meandering with this story? Like, where are you going with this? Let's bring this puppy
Oh
home.
no, I was just mentioning the
Dude,
hearse.
you are out of control right now.
Bring this puppy home.
Let's
Where we
land this
going with
plane, DB Cooper style.
No, seriously.
We parked it at
where
the
we going?
movie theater.
Okay, a movie theater. Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's parked. We're leaving it there.
Uh-huh.
It's home.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Now, Janet, do you have any questions about true crime, or do you just want
Does she ever?
No. Or do you just
I
want to talk
always
about
do. I
No, you
always
don't.
have a true crime question.
Janet?
I
Honestly,
agree with Joey. You're very business tonight.
I am. I'm not in the mood.
Too bad.
Janet, seriously, in all seriousness, do you have something you want to ask about true crime? I'm curious.
Well, there were people in the chat that wanted to know, Dr. G, if you have ever stayed at the Lizzie Borden
Yes, I have.
bed and breakfast.
Yes, and I've been there many times. I went there to experiment with a friend of mine. I wanted to experiment with the sound travel of the house because I refused to believe that Lizzie downstairs didn't hear her mother being, the stepmother being hatcheted upstairs by a stranger. So I had my friend go upstairs and like stomp the.
Well, what was your conclusion?
The conclusion was that it was absolutely impossible to not hear it, even all the way down in the basement. So that it wasn't possible.
Do you think that it's a little like, and I'm just curious. I know that, but do you think it's like kind of low rent for it to be like a tourist attraction?
No,
You don't think so?
I mean, it's a little morbid, but the Lizzie Borden thing has always been campy. There's something about there are some historical cases that take on a quality of camp, sort of like the witch trials in Danvers, that people think happened in Salem. That's gotten campy. Like if you go there, it's cheesy. You can get magnets of women, tied to stakes on fire, and like a pen that you turn it upside down, and like she flies on a broomstick. It's been turned. It went campy. And I think that the Lizzie Borden case is kind of like that. You know what I mean? You can get like magnets of her, and like
Sure.
it's taken on a tacky quality. And there are certain historical crimes like that. They happened so long ago that we kind of turned them into something that's almost like it didn't really happen. It's just sort of like a wacky event in history. Same thing with like if you go to certain parts of Europe. Like if you went to certain parts of France, you could get a little guillotine, or you could get like something that looks like an Iron Maiden that's supposed to be like a tacky a souvenir of the Inquisition. It's like but the reality is the Lizzie Borden thing was a domestic double homicide. It was absolutely gruesome. There was blood and gore all over the place in that bedroom that you'd be sleeping in. And if you really understand the reality of it, like it's disturbing. But I think that it has, in over time, been turned into something so campy, so far away from reality that I can understand people sleeping there. I wouldn't want to sleep, for example, in a place where a crime happened 10 years ago because it hasn't been turned into folklore, in the way that Lizzie Borden's.
Yeah, but it's like the Watts house, like when that went up for sale, and there were people like, oh, I would never live there. And I could understand that in some aspects, but like in a lot of ways too, I mean, I don't know how I would feel about it, but it is weird. But the Lizzie Borden thing, you're right, is so far removed because it's been such a long time.
That's what I'm saying. So like people don't think of it the same way anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right about that.
It's sort of like there's a tree in Washington Square Park in Manhattan where they used to hang everybody from the local prison, right? It goes all the way back to, and there are people that take pictures in front of it and think it's sort of fun and, whatever. It's the historical death tree. But like, if you really think about what you're doing, it's disturbing. Like there were people who like went to the Lord, dangling on that tree. It's like after a little while, something gets turned into camp. Or it's too far away, it's cheesy. It's become a historical event, and that's what's happened with the Lizzie Borden case. But or she's been turned into a folk hero that like did a dark thing, to get out of an abusive situation or something like that. But the reality is, like, she probably got away with like a domestic double homicide where she butchered the crap out of her father and stepmother, and then lived on a fortune for a long time. And I don't think that's. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think of her as a hero, but
sure. Right. No, I know you never have.
People want to visit the home and
there are people that like just believe that she is completely innocent, man.
They also believe that Koberger is innocent.
These are some of the same people. Yeah.
They're not winning entry into Mensa anytime soon. Now, sure. But so Janet, the answer is, would I go there? I went there for scientific reason, right? I wanted to understand the home, but I think at the same time, like, it's a terrible experience being there if you really understand what went on there. And this is true everywhere. I mean, I always said somebody should make a guidebook that tells you about the true crime events that happen at like every address in a certain neighborhood. Like, that would be a hit book. You know what I mean? Like, where like people would walk around on a tour and be like, here 300 years ago this happened and that but the people who lived there wouldn't like it.
Sure.
Like, so but anyway, but I really appreciate that question. But do I think it's okay that it's a bed and breakfast? Yeah, only because it was so long ago that I think I get that it's been turned into folklore. But it's dangerous for things to turn into folklore. When you start
absolutely
Alfred Fish, that he was just a folk villain, you forget that the man, abducted and murdered intellectually disabled children all over the country. Like, he's not a folk villain that should be on T-shirts at a crime convention. He was a monstrous sexual pervert. So that's what I'm that's what I'm getting at, is like, it's all about where it's sort of like the whole thing when a terrible thing happens that someone makes a joke and they go, too soon? Like, at what point are you intellectually distanced from something? I think the Lizzie Borden case was long enough ago, 1892, that I kind of get it.
Well, it's also kind of like that, Dr. Gary, like when you're watching, like you're watching the news and they say, oh, there was a tsunami, somewhere and 50,000 people died, but it's so far away from you that you're kind of like flipping about it. Like, you go, oh yeah, that's awful. And you feel bad about it.
Right.
But you go on about your day because it's on the other side of the world and it doesn't affect you, and you don't know anybody that it happened to, and then the people just live with what happened for generations, you know, like the earthquake in Haiti, you know, it's like, yeah, that's a terrible thing, but we don't really think about it after the initial, you know, after initially it happens. And I'm not saying that people are wrong for it. I'm just saying that when you're so far removed from something, it's different, you know, like 9/11 is much different to a lot of to people that live in New York than in California. I mean, it's true. Not saying that they're insensitive to it or anything, but 9/11 means something different to you than it does to me. Now, I mean, I have
I lived
obviously
it. Right.
correct. And I watched it on TV from, you know, thousands of miles away. So I get that. I completely understand it.
Yeah. Well, I have a serious problem with anybody who makes a joke about that.
Sure. Of course.
I've heard them. I've heard
It's a
jokes.
terrible thing.
That's disgusting. Yeah. So anyway, but Janet, I always appreciate your calls. You always inject a kind of a, I don't know what the word is, a kind of impish chaos into things, and I get a kick out of it because we need it, you know, and because I have the same irreverent quality, and I think it's fun to turn the table over, you know. So I appreciate it, and but at the same time, it's a very sensitive question. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you, Dr. G.
Oh, you're so welcome. And I hope you'll consider buying a couple of the true crime books that I still have sitting around. I got 20 some odd of them left. I'm not raffling them. You know, I'm just sort of selling them outright. And you know, let me know if you want, you know, to pick any of them up. I like the idea of them going to a home where I have a feel for the person and I can pick a book I think they would particularly like.
I have one coming.
So, oh yeah, you're on the way. I mailed it. Yeah.
Oh, cool. I can't
Very
wait.
thoughtful. And I know you mail your things out very promptly. Thank you so much.
Yes, although the people that ordered the New Evil signed have to understand that it's going to take at least a week to get the copies here, and then I have to inscribe them and get the envelopes and mail them or whatever. So I think that's looking more like early August you'll get it.
Right.
But I think for the true crime books, I mean, they're just stacked, you know, in the house here, and but I just really like the idea of like when I have a feel for a person, I can pick the right book for them. And some people wrote me and said, wow, you know, you were supposed to pick it randomly, but it really feels like you picked something that, you know, was like personal to me. And that's because I knew that person, you know?
Nice.
So, yeah. So, and I sign every, you know, put like a little note in there and everything's, you know, hand done. And, you know, so let me know. Okay.
Yeah.
And,
Josh, my thoughts have been with you definitely.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
I'll even tell you this morning, I woke up out of a dream where I was yelling at someone I didn't know, saying, you better leave them alone. And I woke up and I realized it was your father, which is wild because I don't know your family, don't live in California, you know, don't really have a connection, but I just feel very protective. And
well, I fully appreciate that, and thank you so much for, you know, we spend time here on the air and we get to know each other, so I completely understand it. And I've, you know, been public about this story for years, and so I completely understand it. To be honest with you, Janet, I never thought this day would come. I swear to God, for a long time, I never thought that that yesterday would have happened. And then in about the last 3 years, with the laws changing, I sort of saw this slow burn, and it started to become a reality to me, where I'm like, that there's a real possibility that this could happen. And I started to sort of mentally prepare myself and try to prepare my family, because I just saw the writing on the wall. And but for the longest time, I never thought that I would see that day. And I fought it, and I fought it, and I fought it, and I fought as hard as I could, and I'm proud of that. So
yeah, I was gonna say the prison walls have come down, but you have done so much to fortify yourself over these last couple of years, both physically, mentally, spiritually.
Yeah.
And my hope is that all of your family can reach a point of that inner fortitude where you're not feeling at risk and where you are carrying less of the burden of ensuring that they're protected. I just visualize you all as a very strong family unit that is impenetrable.
I got to tell you that we've been through a lot, and we're tight knit. We're like any other family. You have your issues, your disagreements, but that's all in house. You know, anything on the outside, everybody sticks together very well. And you know, I've just been in contact. I spent the last week basically taking each day where I would talk to a different member of my family. I'd spend some time with them, explain what was happening, how it was going to happen. And each conversation was unique and it was difficult. And I got to tell you that when I was on the phone with the victim services in the prison, he was the one that called me and, you know, to notify me about what was going on. And he said, so you're his son. And I said, I am. And he said, how old were you when this happened? He goes, so you're the contact point for everybody. He said, yes, I'm the contact point for everybody. He said, I'm in charge of all of whatever information you have comes to me, I disperse it. I said, that's just how it's happening. And he says, how old were you when this happened? I said, I was 3 years old. And he said, it's amazing how much time has passed. And now you're the one that is kind of shouldering the burden of this. And I said, well, that's just sort of how life works, because my grandfather, who did a lot of this when I was a little boy, he was the rock of our family. He passed away and he's gone. And so I guess it sort of just became my turn, whether I wanted it or not. And that's just, we all have our crosses to bear. So I'm honored to be able to represent my family, represent my mother, represent people that have been abused, marginalized, and forgotten. So Jan, I really do appreciate that.
And you carry your grandfather's wisdom and with you. He was your mentor.
He was, very much so. Very much so. And I have some really good friends, some new friends, some old friends, very wise friends that I look to a lot.
Well, you have a legion of people here, Josh, and beyond prayers and our hopes and wishes, if there is anything ever that you need from us, please just reach out and let us know.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate this, that, you know, just doing these shows and having these conversations with everybody. It means more to me than I could ever, that I could ever express to people. I thoroughly enjoy interacting with you guys, taking calls and spending time, getting to know people. And it's a blessing. I'm very blessed.
Well, thank you, Josh, and thank you, Dr. G, so very much.
Oh, you're welcome. You know, we always love when you call. You're a character, but your heart is very special.
She's great.
So you just keep on calling. Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right. Well, take care, everyone. And Janet, seriously, think about the books.
I certainly will. You'll hear from me.
Okay.
Take care. Bye-bye. All
Okay.
right. Let's Cassie E. Cassie, go ahead. How are you? Where are you calling
How
from?
you doing, Cassie?
Good. From Dallas again.
Yeah, we know you.
Yeah, we know you.
Yeah, how are y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Well, Dr. Gary's in a pretty serious mood, so I'll stick to the
I like that people think I'm in a serious mood, and I'm like,
Because
I
you
don't.
said
I,
it.
I think you've been goofy all night.
You have been goofy. So no, just kidding. I just wanted to correct one thing. I love
no.
Joey H, but sharks are not attracted to menstrual blood. That's been it certainly has not been proven, and there's. I'm sorry to bring this back up, but most menstrual blood is not actually blood. So very little of that actually gets in the water to attract sharks. There's absolutely zero evidence of that. I grew up in Florida at the beach, and honestly, I had a fear of that. And I was told there has never been anything linked to that. I don't know if you can count that if it's completely outside your body, but
Well, but to be fair, I mean, I'm sure it's not like a widely studied thing.
that's the thing. They can't get a controlled study.
But even a drop of blood in the water, sharks can sense from a long way away.
A quarter mile. Yeah, that's the given thing. It's just that I think there's never been anything that has linked them in a way that even in a way that's what's the never mind, I can't think of the term, but it's not been
Empirically validated.
Yeah, it's not been empirical. Well, they can't, because you'd have to ask women.
I know.
to
You have to get
voluntarily
people
in
to
there.
volunteer to do it. It would be unethical. Right.
But unempirically, there have been, and they apparently have asked those questions to people who have been attacked, who have been involved in shark attacks, and there's no empirical evidence that has a cause. It's causation. There's not even corroboration without it. You know how they say there's. Dr. Gary, what's the term I'm trying to think of?
I'm not sure.
Where you corroborate it, but you can't validate it. It's corroborated, but
You mean there's a correlation, but
there's a correlation, exactly, not a causation. Thank you. Had a little brain fart there. Yes, but there's not even the correlation there. So I just wanted to. I'm not sure that that's any women out there. I don't think. The safest thing probably would be to play it safe. That's what I would do still, because I'm a little paranoid. But there have been anecdotal studies. It's more anecdotal, obviously, than because they can't study it empirically. But that's all that I.
Are you sure you don't want to talk about period blood anymore?
I'm sure.
Oh, okay.
I just brought the yeah.
You and Joey knocked it out of the park.
No, I'm good. I
appreciate the spirit in which you're saying that is that you want to be scientifically accurate, and I think that's interesting, and I'm sure Joey would appreciate that.
Moving on, Dr. Gary.
I think Joey would appreciate that. There's nothing wrong with that.
I know. I was just joking.
No, granted, you can't discount his personal experience either. I don't blame him if he had that for not wanting to do that again. I can't. But maybe that tiger shark was just already. I don't know.
Maybe the tiger shark was on its period.
Maybe she was on her period. Who knows?
Right.
But okay. Moving along. I always have notes, but I wanted to ask you, and I know you can't be you say you can't diagnose or say much clinically on the show, but I was curious about your perspective on the Lindsay Clancy case. And
I don't have one.
You don't have one?
No.
I don't either. Well,
I haven't formulated a thought yet.
Okay. Because, can I ask you a couple questions about the difference? Do you deal with, I don't know if that's more of a psychiatric study, like postpartum depression versus postpartum psychosis and things like that. Is that more in the psychological realm or the psychiatric kind of realm?
It's a psychiatric question. It's a hormonal kind of biological issue.
Okay. But do you treat people with postpartum? Do you?
Oh, sure. Yes. But as far as its overlap with crime, it's a very good question.
Yeah, I was just curious. I mean, I know it's been compared to obviously Andrea Yates, which is in Texas here where I am. But I don't know. I was just curious, like, Well, maybe you can answer some more basic questions like is postpartum depression on the spectrum of postpartum psychosis? Like, can postpartum depression turn into postpartum psychosis, or is postpartum psychosis like a distinct illness?
Well, first of all, psychosis is a kind of a generic term that can really characterize anything. It's like a state more than it's a condition in and of itself. I mean, absolutely anybody could develop psychosis in lots of contexts, right? I mean, it's like a trick question. Name a DSM condition that can't be characterized by psychosis. They don't exist. I mean, because anyone experience psychosis, as part of their picture, would be comorbid and perhaps with some sometimes causal. But the idea is like, postpartum depression affects like 1 in 7 new mothers, but postpartum psychosis is like 1 to 2 out of 1,000 women. Much rarer. And as far as like a spectrum is concerned, I mean, it's an interesting question. Like, in other words, can you be psychotic postpartum without being depressed, right? Like, does it have to be depression with psychosis that you've developed? No, because there are very different features of these things. I mean, you can have sadness, anxiety, and be very exhausted or whatever, but then other people can have hallucinations and delusions and become disorganized, and it's not clear if they're actually on a spectrum. The rarity thing, is important to bear in mind. So I think that the way I would see it is they're both driven by, hormonal changes, but they're not necessarily the same. Like, in other words, not everyone with postpartum depression is necessarily at risk of developing psychosis.
Okay, that's what I thought. I mean,
and you could have postpartum psychosis without being depressed.
Okay.
So they're just hormonal reactions.
They are distinct. I'm just saying they are kind of distinct entities. They're not necessarily on, like, the thing. Some people are saying like that Lindsay Clancy could have been so depressed that she became briefly psychotic, which, or that I kind of struggle with that. I've always heard. And, I'm a layperson, obviously, but just from what I've read and heard is that they're kind of it's not like you can get depressed enough to become psychotic in the postpartum term. They're kind of distinct. Like you were saying, a lot of times you're psychotic without the depressive part. And a lot of times you have depression without the psychotic part, but they're not necessarily linked together, except through the hormonal.
There are 3 things that could happen. You could be very depressed in a postpartum way and never go on to develop psychosis. You could have psychosis without the depression, or you could have postpartum depression that turns into a psychotic depression. So there's like 3 different pathways.
And how common? Yes, I understand. And I know that you can even develop psychosis with typical depression, with major depressive disorder, right?
It's called depression with psychotic features.
But how rare is that? Like, how do you know how common?
Psychotic disorders generally are like 1 in 10,000. So, but that could be anything: a delusional disorder, schizophrenia, psychotic depression, psychotic bipolar disorder. There's all different ways. But psychosis just means a period of loss of contact with reality, which anybody could. And then there are these other things that are sort of like quasi-psychotic, that are more like a group hysteria or a kind of, and they're culturally defined. And then there are some people that just have a psychotic-like personality, like paranoid personality, or schizoid personality, or schizotypal personality. So it's a very wide array of things, but it's an interesting question.
Yeah. Well, I'm just curious about the fact that she herself said, I had a brief psychotic moment when she did this, but the fact is that she planned it. I mean, and I'm just curious about the ability to plan in a state of psychosis. Like, I mean, she sent her husband to a way further restaurant than he needed to go.
Hold on. So look, this is an extremely important point. I don't want it to be missed.
Okay.
So one of the problems I've had as an expert crossing over between psychosis and violence work, right, is that there's this incorrect idea that psychosis by definition is going to make a person disorganized, right? So if you think about like crime scenes, people will say that was an organized crime scene, so there's no sign of severe mental illness. Now, that's not true. The reality is that there are forms of psychosis we could be quite organized, like a person with a paranoid delusion. That's disorganized.
Yeah.
You understand? This notion of craziness that make you, that's like something associated with the whole McNaughton rule, the idea that like you don't know what you're doing, you don't know the difference between right and wrong. But there are forms of psychosis, like you could be hearing a voice that tells you to kill people and be quite organized. So this notion that everyone is going to show manifestation of disorganization is not true. Now, if you are experiencing postpartum depression and you're hearing a voice talk to you, or you're having a kind of what we call like an override delusion, where something's overriding your kind of, you know, your sense that you have control over yourself, or you think that the TV is telling you to take a gun and go out and do something, you can be quite organized and completely psychotic.
Right.
And
well,
so
I guess my question is psychosis to the point of not knowing the difference between right and wrong, because that's kind of what this comes down to.
That's very rare.
I mean, I understand you can be psychotic and be somewhat organized. I understand that, but I'm talking to the point where you can be called clinically insane in most courts in the United States. You know, I just, it's a high burden, and I'm honestly shocked Andrea Yates, even in Texas, especially at that point, was.
It's all about, do you know the difference between right and wrong?
Say that again.
It's all about if you know the difference between right and wrong.
Right.
That's what it comes down to.
That's it. I mean, that's all. That's.
Do you know the difference between right and wrong? Are you?
And that's the definition of insanity, or
that's from a legal perspective is all anybody cares about. Do you know the difference between right and wrong? If you can recognize that difference, you can go to jail. And there are some states that don't have that don't even have that.
Right. Well, and I was trying to.
But you understand why that's important? I mean,
I do.
Right. It's very, very different. So like a person that's so disorganized, like taking bath salts, who eats someone's face and doesn't even remember it the next day, is very different. So.
But no, I do understand the difference, and I honestly, I believe there should be diminished capacity laws in a lot of states, because I don't think it is like either. I don't think it's that black and white that you either know right and wrong, or you're guilty. I think there should be some level in Texas, as far as I know, we do not have that. It's either insane or not insane, and there's no kind of there's no middle ground where you can say, yes, they're guilty, but they're guilty with diminished capacity, because they were in this sort of, not necessarily psychosis, but they were in a headspace that they would not have normally done this in. You know, they're in a.
Well, I think that's sort of what Dr. Gary weighs in on, isn't it, Dr. Gary?
It's the kind of thing I do, you know. But
that's what I thought. I mean, you're. That's what I thought that you did.
I mean, there are mitigating factors that are taken into consideration in court settings. Whether whether I mean, you don't have to be. It's not as black and white as insane, not insane, or because, you know, they do, you know, they talk about crimes of passion. They talk about, so it's sort of a spectrum, I guess, but
some states just don't have that, though. That's the thing. It's either like Idaho.
Well, some people,
there's no insanity. There's no.
Well, some people think that it's bull crap too.
I know. I'm just saying I don't necessarily. I'm not.
No. Listen, I have seen people that are so disturbed that they don't know the difference between right and wrong. That is.
I understand, but I'm saying that
those are the ones who should be in the institution.
That's a real thing. I mean, let me tell you.
I'm not saying that, I agree with that. But there's also a spectrum up to that where you're psychotic but still know the difference between right and wrong, right?
Of course, but like a person could be completely psychotic,
that you wouldn't.
Right. A person could be completely psychotic and know the difference between right and wrong. You have to understand those things are not mutually exclusive.
Right. I'm just saying, but most people are psychotic when they don't know the difference between right and wrong. Right? Is that correct or incorrect? Is that
sorry,
most people who
there's a person who what I don't understand the question.
A person who is found like guilty by reason of insanity.
Yeah. Not guilty.
They're almost always psychotic. Right, sorry. Not guilty by reason of insanity. They're usually they're psychotic, right, to the point of not knowing right and
At
wrong.
the time of the crime.
Exactly. But I'm just saying, is there any other disorder where you don't know the difference between right and wrong?
Well, I suppose, for example, a person could have extreme dementia.
Well, okay, things like that. I'm just.
Yeah, but like,
Maybe
what stops most 10-year-olds from smashing their friends' heads with a rock? It's the inept ability for them to know that. Yeah,
right.
I've never been told that I shouldn't.
Right.
Yeah, it's not that I've never been told that I shouldn't smash my friend's head with a rock.
Agreed.
It's that I know that it's wrong, and
Agreed.
it's in me. It's just something. Now, are there kids that do it? Of course. But it's not something that like you don't sit down at the table with your child and go, look, you don't do that to your friends with a rock.
Right.
You just sort of know it
innately.
Yeah,
you know, it's almost innately. And part of that's how you grow up, I'm sure. But like a lot of that is innate, I think, in humans to not hurt others in general or do something
I think so, yeah.
But I would like to think that.
Most of us are horrified when we see somebody get hurt.
Exactly.
Most of us go, oh my God, I can't believe that just happened. Not all of us, but most of us. And that's just sort of how we're wired.
Yeah. You know, most people.
Most.
Yeah, I was just curious if there was a case other than like dementia. I mean, you have to be the only cases that are basically considered that are eligible for even like psychosis or for not guilty by reason of insanity are psychotic disorders. Is that not correct? Or except like Alzheimer's, neurological degeneration, or things like that.
Under cross-examination, it's a very interesting experience. So because you're exactly like a person giving a cross-examination on the stand or something. So, and I like that.
I'm just curious. I'm sorry.
Yes, your curiosity is like you're like tenacious as a lobster. So let me see if I can. It means that when you catch on to something with your claw, it's not getting away from you.
Oh, I got it.
A dog with a bone. Yeah.
So let me see if I can understand the question. Ask it again because it's very like meticulous and kind of entrapping. So ask the question again.
I'm just saying. My basic thing is, are there any disorders that are non-psychotic in etiology that can be qualified for the insanity defense? The different, like
insanity just means in the legal.
I understand that. I'm talking about in court. Is there any disorder that qualifies for the insanity plea other than psychotic disorders?
Well, you have to understand. The word psychosis is a generic term that simply means it's not a thing. It's a generic word for a state that could be experienced in anything.
Okay.
You could have like a head injury that makes you psychotic.
Right.
So it just means, were you in a state during which you did not know the difference between right and wrong because you were confused about what was real and what wasn't? You were responding to stimuli that were not really there, or you connected dots in a way that was delusional, or you were disorganized because of that thing. And therefore, it's a trick question, because that anything can cause that. They're not interested in the etiology. It's not like schizophrenics only. It means, did you experience a state of psychosis for any reason, anything at all?
But so anyone
not appreciate that difference.
So is anyone vulnerable? Anyone is vulnerable to that?
Of course.
Okay, so anyone can have like a brief.
Absolutely.
But
there are
not,
some people that are more
but is it? That's not defensible, though, is it? Like, I mean, I'm not talking about.
In some states, it is defensible if a person did not appreciate the difference between right and wrong because of the psychiatric state they were in.
Right.
So that's it. Simple as that. You could try that defense, and this is the problem. There are some psychotic states you could be in where you know the difference between right and wrong, but you believe something that isn't true, or you're responding to voices or whatever. It really comes down to, I think, in the minds of most people, did you not know the difference between right and wrong, and like it made your behavior kind of dangerous or disorganized? That's the whole thing. Like, in other words, I don't have a braking system anymore because I don't know anymore that, like, if I do this thing, It's
Right.
bad, right?
Right.
So like
Well-
a person with a psychotic disorder puts gasoline all over a public place and sets it on fire, and they don't realize what they're doing. That's very different than a person who says, a voice told me to take a firearm and go into a place and kill all these people, and I knew that it was wrong, but the voice told me that it was God, and
Right.
like I was listening to it. You know, you still have a braking system. You see what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so it's all about like, does a thing override your braking system?
Okay.
That's the point, which is a very interesting question, and there are a lot of problems with that, but that's the way it goes, and I think otherwise, if a person knows the difference between right and wrong, there are legal repercussions for violent behavior.
Right. Yeah.
That's how it comes down. You get
Right.
it?
Yeah.
Right.
No, I do get it. I just feel like I don't know. I just feel like, and you can't necessarily give your opinion, but for Lindsay Clancy, I feel like she definitely, going back to
I
that.
know nothing about the case, and I won't comment on it.
No, I know.
What case?
The Lindsay Clancy, where she killed her 3 children.
Right,
And
I know that, but I don't know
Yeah,
enough about
Josh
her.
was asking.
Yeah, I didn't know what the case was.
Okay.
Josh
Go ahead.
was asking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in Massachusetts, and she killed her 3 children with restraint bands, with like exercise bands.
Right.
Jeez.
And then she attempted to end her own life by jumping out of a 2nd-story window. So.
Right.
And that didn't work, I'm guessing.
And it didn't work, and she's paralyzed basically from her sternum down.
Good
And
Lord.
it's just such an inch for me. It's interesting, but it's I don't know what to think about that case, because I don't think she clearly wasn't in her right mind. And she
Well,
was a
I
labor
think
and
honestly,
delivery nurse too.
but
That's the other,
Cassie,
Mhm.
I can help you a little bit there.
Yeah.
I think that goes without saying. I don't think that there's anybody in their right mind that would do that. Now, what's wrong with them? I don't know. But there's no way that anybody that's thinking clearly thinks that that's a good idea to do. So, I mean, like Dr. Gary said, does it override your brake system? You know what? Who there's no way for anybody to know that fully. You can have educated guesses on it. People can give their input. That's why they have multiple diagnoses or opinions about it. But most people that commit violent crimes, especially against their own children, there's something wrong with them.
I agree, and that's why I agree to it. Just where I'm from, it's guilty or innocent, or guilty by reason of insanity. I just think there should be a little bit more of a spectrum, because I agree with you. I don't know if she was psychotic or not, or didn't know the difference between right and wrong, which is the definition here. But she clearly wasn't in her right mind.
What did they charge her with? I mean,
she's charged with three premeditated murder charges.
Was she found guilty?
There's jury selection right now.
Oh, okay.
Start the trial. That's where my kind of curiosity. I heard about this, a while ago, but her trial's getting ready to start, and I'm just,
but I mean, when something like that, when something like that happens, and you tell, just like somebody just randomly, they would go, that's insane, or she's insane. Now, insane
That's
is
very different definition.
Right.
Wait a minute. Let me finish.
Yeah.
Insane is a clinical term. So, we all look at it as, it's insane from just like a layperson's point of view. But there is nothing, first of all, there's nothing normal about these situations. And I think that there are a lot of mitigating factors, but I think that there are a lot of people that feel that there may be too many mitigating factors, and you think there are too few. So, I mean, I can see it on both sides.
I can too, and I struggle with it, because I'm curious what the jury. I'm curious what they'll find, just because it's a pretty complex case, and or at least for me, I generally.
I mean, what is the proper thing to do with her if she's insane?
Exactly.
Put her in a mental hospital?
Well, yeah, I guess, but
not
also,
prison.
I mean, and also she's paralyzed, which I don't know if that should come into the to the you know, that she is paralyzed at this point. I don't know how to feel about that. And as far as the legal, like, I would not want to be a juror. I'll just say I would not want to be a juror on this case, because I feel like unless they're going to bring a lot, and you know, they could bring a lot more evidence, but Dr. Basically they're saying the argument is she was on I think 11 or 12 different drugs,
and it very well might be the case. But here's my issue with it. I don't know the case. But here's my issue. We're not talking about the kids anymore.
No,
because you know what, they don't get a chance for anything. So now we have to mitigate this lady who obviously has issues, and I get it. She wasn't in her right mind. I don't know what she's going to be diagnosed with and how she's going to be found guilty.
But
yeah, but I have no idea. But the thing is,
what did they diagnose her with?
I don't know yet. I mean, she has diagnoses though. That'll come up in trial. But I know they do have diagnoses. But they think she was insane from the medication she was. They're claiming she was out of her mind because of her medication. She was on so many medications that she did not know the difference between right and wrong. She was on like 12 different. I think they gave 12 or 13 different psychiatric medications within a 3-month period.
Did she try and cover up the crime at all?
No, she did not. She jumped out the window. No,
she was trying to end her, but she was trying to end her own life.
She tried to end her own life. Her husband came and found her, and found the children.
But why did she try to do that? Because she knew she did something awful.
That's what I'm wondering. That's what
because it sounds like
that's what I feel.
It sounds like she jumped out of the window to end her own life because she knew she did something.
That's my opinion.
And then that would be her governorship working, going, oh crap, I did this horrible thing. Time for me to leave the earth now too. And now we're so concerned about her well-being,
right?
When she didn't give one shit about herself,
right,
or her kid,
right? And she clearly appreciated to an extent what she did to try and do that.
I would think
you know
so.
What I mean, you know, that's my thinking, but I don't know. I'm conflicted on.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting, but very rarely are these. Very rarely is the insanity case one. I mean, I think it's like less than 1%, or 1% or something. But
her husband even came out after 3 days, and said this is not her fault. This is because she sought help multiple times. That's the other complicating factor. She went to a psychiatric. She was committed psychiatrically before this. So, and more than once. And so her husband came out and said, "This is not her fault. This is the doctor's fault for not recognizing."
Well, but unfortunately, he's not the arbiter of whose fault it is or not.
He is not. He is not. But I'm just saying.
But I look, I get it.
It's rare too for the husband to come out. Unless he fully bought into the fact that she was not. But you know, I don't know. It's just
it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. You should call back in and we'll discuss it more.
Yeah, once it's
while the trial goes on. Yeah. We got some other calls to take.
Yeah,
we appreciate you always. You always have great questions.
All right, y'all.
I don't know where Dr. Gary went, but he'll be back. Okay.
Y'all have a good night. Bye.
All right, Oceanside lady, go ahead.
Hi, how are you, Josh?
I'm good.
I hope Dr. Gary comes back because my question is about a risk. Oh, there you are. I love you both. So Dr. Gary, this is something that's going on where I live, and I've looked up in your new evil in the risk assessment or the levels. Yeah. So I'll just tell you real fast what happened in June.
I can't comment on any kind of clinical question or a specific.
No.
Yeah, just be aware of that.
No. But it's. I'm just want to know your opinion about risk. You'll understand. There's no legal thing going on right now. So in June, a lady went into her kitchen in my little community, and her curtains in the kitchen were open, and the window was cracked, and she went to reach for the coffee pot, which was next to the window. And she saw a man standing there with his face pressed against the screen. And when she saw him, he said something to her, and she just started screaming. The man in the house jumped up and ran to the they both started yelling, call 911, and we're going to shoot you, to try to scare him. And instead of like leaving right away, he actually tried all the doors of her car in the driveway. And then he ran down the street and disappeared. So that happened. And then about 2 weeks later, about 4 doors down, during the soccer games, the lady had her brother and his daughter over, and the daughter's like a late teen. And so she was sitting on the sofa where she could see outside, and it was like twilight, and she noticed a man standing on the sidewalk looking towards the house. And so she kind of moved a little, and she said he moved a little so he could still see her, and he kept staring. So she said, oh, there's a man, he's watching me. And the dad and the auntie jumped up and started yelling and ran outside, and he ran off. And then about a week and a half later, on that same street, a lady was walking her dog, and a man with the kind of same description, who doesn't live in our neighborhood. I live in a very, very small senior community, just one long street. And she saw the man, and she said, hey, what are you doing? Because in our street, because there's only one way in and one way out, and you don't have any business if you don't live there. There's no stores or anything. And she said he apologized and then took off and left, walking quickly, and left the area. But all 3 times it was like a large framed guy. And so I looked in what I did was I looked up Peeping Tom, and your book actually came up on the AI Google as, the risk assessment for voyeurism, which is another form of Peeping Tom. And it was in the building blocks section.
You have a problem with using the scale to look that up, because even though it is very probable, you don't actually know that there's more than one incident of it. In order to be ranked on the scale in the place where I think it was going to lead you, you need more than one incident to show a serial nature. Now, the other thing is there's no murder involved. So when a person is sexually motivated and there's no homicide, the category is usually 16, where there can be a single act. Once there's multiple acts and there's homicide involved, you go up to 17 for sexually motivated offenses. Peeping is almost always sexually associated. So you're looking at category 16 likely, which is this sort of bucket. Where now, if the person who did it was disturbed and did it in the context of schizophrenia, you might go with 13, where an inadequate, disturbed individual commits the offense. So it's impossible to say without, if you follow the algorithm in the book, without a little bit more detail, if there's a serial nature, if there's ever been murder, or if there's any mental illness. So it's impossible to say. But generally, a non-like psychotic voyeur who is not killing anybody is probably a 16.
So most people that commit that sort of offense, you're saying do it for sexual reasons, but the other reasons might be like paranoia,
like being psychiatrically disturbed in some way, but it's usually sexual.
Yeah, okay. Overwhelmingly.
What's concerning to me is that this is a senior, a senior area. This is not like a college dorm area where there's a lot of hot young girls living. These are older ladies.
Yeah, it's not uncommon.
That means nothing.
Yeah, no. It's elderly people can be the victims of sexually motivated offenses, but the thing is, it's less common, but it does happen. There is a thing called gerontophilia, for example, where a person is sexually aroused by people who are elderly. That is a thing. It's a type of paraphilic disorder where a person just that's what sexually arouses them. So it does exist, but it is remarkably uncommon.
Wasn't that remember it was the Christian Breckner? Remember him? And was it the Madeleine McCann? He was he's like one of the suspects, but didn't he stalked elderly women and things like that. He was been convicted of
Yeah,
stuff like that
there's a
before.
few cases in my database that involved that. It's very unusual. I remember when the Nancy Guthrie thing first happened, there were experts who said, I think it's sexual. Now,
But it
said
could have
from the
been.
get-go, I didn't think so. No, there's no evidence.
No. I'm saying not at the very beginning that the theory wasn't that outlandish. It doesn't seem like that's the case.
I mean, I said
now.
from the get-go that I didn't think so, but I can understand why people had to. Because when you have a home invasion, the motives are generally going to be sexual or robbery. And at the time there was this whole thing like we have, there's fluid or something because they have DNA. We didn't know what they had. But looking back now, I think it's pretty clear that it wasn't sexual.
Yeah.
In my opinion, but
I just find it very interesting that these all happened within 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's.
And I also thought it was interesting. Really, the only reason I'm telling you about it is because your book and your write-up about voyeurism and the category that they fit into, and then the risk assessment of escalating is what came up when I Googled peeping Tom.
Right. Well, peeping can be a precursor. I think, for example, that Brian Koberger was a peeper.
Yeah.
It can be a precursor because the whole thing is like, that kind of thing is the fuel. So like we were having the conversation earlier about, and this is a very interesting thing to talk about, but I want to try to keep it a little, but we were talking about the whole thing earlier of like the braking system that makes a person not commit a crime. Well, I remember when Dr. Salter, the wonderful Dr. Anna Salter, was on with Josh and me, and she was talking about how having the thought to do something is not necessarily the bad thing. It's not having the braking system to not do it, right?
Yeah.
So she gave the example of someone saying they're attracted to their sister-in-law and saying, well, a lot of people might feel that way, but they wouldn't do anything about it, right? So the person without a braking system does. So I said to her, okay, so you've got a motor and you've got brakes, but what's the fuel? What is it that pushes and I think a common answer to that for a lot of these guys would be needing increasing sexual titillation, needing more and more dopamine, so it usually starts out with pornography and then moves up, right? So I think that it's peeping can lead to other things like breaking into a house and stealing panties or whatever, and then it can increase even further. You need to, hurt someone in their bed. You need to touch someone. In other words, you need a greater and greater thrill, like a drug addict. You understand? You have to keep. Yeah. And so I think peeping usually moves in another direction, and it can also be something you do to watch a person you're obsessed with or that you want to hurt in some way, so there's a lot of different possibilities, but without detail, it's like hard to say.
What would you say? So this actually
that's why I can't speak to this specific, because we don't know.
Yeah. This actually made me think of Josh's situation because I've been discussing this because I'm the neighborhood watch captain, and we've been discussing what to do about it.
Good for you.
So there's a homeless encampment down the hill from us that they keep clearing out, and people keep coming back. And then I was thinking about Josh, how they're letting people out, that shouldn't be out because they don't want to take care of them and they don't want to pay for them. And so there's just so many things that it could be. It could be a bored homeless person. It could, because literally those houses, you have to walk in to our neighborhood and each house has its own fenced backyard, and almost every house is on a slope. So there's like a slope going down, and so there's access to people who crawl around in the wilderness. You know what I mean? Like people who are not afraid to climb around on the slope, there's access to people's homes. But these were all on the sidewalk in the front of the houses. And the one thing is, the one guy wasn't really afraid, well, both times, actually all 3 times, because the first time the guy didn't run off. First he tried to get into the car and the doors were locked, so then he took off. The second time the guy just kept looking at her, even though he could plainly see there were other people inside the house. And then the third time the guy just like, oh, I'm sorry, and then he just walked quickly away. But you know, he didn't like act like, oh well, you know, it's no big deal. And all of these were like within 5 houses of each other, and these are like tiny houses, so it's all close together. It's
And
like
are you thinking it's the same person?
Story.
oh, everybody thinks it's the same person because of the description. And at the same time, there's a homeless encampment just, you know,
Yeah,
yards
yeah.
and yards away. Like, so
Sure.
I was so interested in.
Right. Well, I think it's great that you were using the algorithm, the new evil. I love that. And
I thought it was
you know, because
interesting
I like
your
the
name
idea of
came
people
up.
using it as a tool. You know, I think that's super. You know, it's super cool. I love that. But you know, the problem is if you follow the book, you'll see that you need multiple incidents to place someone high in the scale. That's the whole thing. So you know, it's like we don't know without detail. That's why, like, you know, people have to be careful with that. But once you have more detail, the algorithm is pretty straightforward in terms of where somebody would go on the scale. That voyeurism is a sexually motivated offense generally, and you know right away where somebody goes, right?
Yeah, and it's in. I wouldn't say I'm not sticking up for anybody, but I'm just saying that it very well could not be a homeless person. I mean, that, you know.
Well, yeah. So we don't know, you
Of
know.
course.
But the thing is that it also very well could be, because whoever it is, they either have to walk up a very long street into our neighborhood and then up a very long street to those houses, or they have to come up from the slope. There's no other way to get where those houses are.
Gotcha. I gotcha.
And it's not someone who lives here, because we're all very close. We all, you know, we have like community parties and community gatherings once a month and things like that. So it's not someone who lives here.
Right. Yeah. Well, keep us updated. Give us an update if you find anything else out. We appreciate your call very much.
I just wanted to tell Gary, like, he was the first pop up on the algorithm.
Well, I wish I could see that. I think that's hilarious, and I'd love to see that, because you know, these ideas
Google,
of, yeah. Go ahead, say that again.
Well, I think what I googled was, what is the risk of a peeping Tom, something like that. I can't remember the exact wordings, but that's all I did is I just Googled it and you popped right up.
Well, listen, you know, these ideas have really gotten out there now, you know, since that book came out and a lot of other writing I've done. I think probably the reason that came up is because of the chapter I did on escalation in the book that was that Ann Burgess, you know, the book on rape. So I did
it broke it down, like the different reasons why you have it at that category and how it's in the, what is it? There's a bucket and then there's an escalation. Is that what it is?
I think what you're talking about is the chapter that was done for the book that Ann Burgess puts out, you know, the rape investigation book. I edited a chapter that had been done by Hazelwood and Warren, if I remember correctly. And that, for that reason, it's coming up, but it's also referencing like my other work. But I'm telling you, like, I think that's what you're talking about. And because I did a whole chapter on escalation. Right. Yeah.
It was interesting. And then I was afraid to talk about it, but then Joey brought up all the stalking stuff. And I said, okay, I think it's safe to bring this up and talk about it.
What didn't Joey bring up tonight? And also, Oceanside Lady, if you Google now, it's probably very high on the algorithm. If you Google Hot Wheels hearse cars, Dr. Gary's face will be up there as well. But we got to move along. So thank you so much. Appreciate you. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Don't make fun of my Hot Wheels hearse. I loved that thing when I
would never. I never would. Connie, go ahead. Connie, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing grateful today because I had a really bad fall yesterday and I didn't break anything and I didn't end up in the hospital, so I'm a happy camper.
Oh, okay.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Connie, are you the same Connie that emails me ideas about the piano page?
No.
Oh, so there's another Connie that writes to me.
Must be,
I always thought that was you.
I'm the author from North Carolina, Appalachia.
Yeah, I know. I just thought that the author from North Carolina was the same Connie who's been writing to me. That's so funny. So I know two Connies. Okay, great.
Yeah, apparently so.
I know 3.
Do you?
No.
And Josh, I just wanted to add my amen to people's concern for you and care about you and what you're going through. And,
appreciate it. Thank you.
And Dr. Gary, it's awesome that you got on so high on the list and everything. That's awesome. I don't think Joey understands what it takes to write a book and what a big deal that is.
I think Joey, I think he understands. I think he likes giving Dr. Gary crap.
Okay.
Love to do that. It's just his humor, but I know his humor very well because I'm a New Yorker.
Okay.
It's like
a specific type. It's a brand of humor that
and that's why I sit back and kind of let them go at it. It's fun. It's fun for me.
Right. It's just like busting one's chops.
That's right.
It's his humor. Cool. So go on.
So I've decided to write a book about a case here in town, and there was a kid. Appalachian State University is here in our town, and a guy disappeared 10 years ago, and he's never been seen or heard from since. And it's just a very, very puzzling case. And the problem I'm running into, it's still considered an open case, so I can't get hardly any information from the police department because they say, well, we'll give you, the sort of a little summary page, and if we catch somebody, then you can get that summary page, but anything else takes a court order to get information from an open case, which I thought, I can see the point to it, but 10 years later, it's like, well, and they've done a really, really good job. They've done so much research and more than most police departments will do, but I'm kind of running into that. But there's been quite a few videos, so I've been listening to those and so on, but I don't know if you'd have any suggestions how to get beyond that, but it's I know that the family has suffered, and I feel so bad for the parents because they have no clue what happened to this kid.
Have you talked to the family?
No, they have a Facebook page that says "Help Find Martin Roberts" is his name, and on there I told them what I was interested in doing, and we even have a podcaster that's willing to talk about the case, and they never answered me. And then finally it came up on the Facebook, we're not doing interviews at this time. And so maybe after 10 years, maybe they're finally getting to the point of acceptance and they don't want that Band-Aid torn off again. I don't know. I have no idea what the reason is, and it feels like the current detective isn't all that into the case because it goes back 10 years. And I'm trying to get a hold of the original detectives and trying to pursue that, but they haven't gotten back to me either. So it's like, where do I go? But I speaking of AI, I put into AI, how would you go about investigating this case or trying to find this kid? So it had some ideas and suggestions, which I found kind of interesting. But anyway, I just thought I'd let you know that.
Yeah, it does suck that the family, doesn't. A lot of the times, families are eager to. I'm not casting any aspersions. I'm not saying that they know anything about it. Sometimes they're eager, and sometimes they are being quiet because they have hopes that the investigation will move forward even after 10 years. I don't know if you're familiar with the Summer Wells case, but we're over 5 years on that case.
Yeah.
And it's one of those cases where you just like, hopefully something breaks because, there's these standstills and, but other than, interviewing the family or friends, it would be the best way to get insight. But, you're going to run into all sorts of roadblocks on an ongoing investigation. And, you know, that's where the investigative journalism really comes into play. There's a lot that goes into it. It's tough. I mean, it is a tough thing to do, but I applaud you for doing it. And I would love for you to keep us updated about it. Dr. Gary, any, you know, you're a book writer.
Right. But generally, I'm talking about, writing about cases that have already been well documented.
Sure.
If it's a case where I go in and actually talk to somebody that generally involves professional relationships with people, and I don't write about those. So, you know, but as far as like I am for the next book, interviewing people that are in the public eye that have been affected by crime, or other professionals, people that are anonymously giving me information. But, you know, it gets a little tricky because, I mean, you know, it opens up cans of worms for people. Like, you know, you're all different reasons why people are talking. You're assuming that they're telling the truth. You don't know if they have an agenda. It gets complicated. But I commend you for doing the work, especially.
I think it's great.
Yeah, I think it's great. And anything that draws attention, you know, but make sure that family is like, never write about a case where there's the possibility where like family is going to be upset in any way. Like, always remember the victim's family are like victims too, right? Like, they've been affected. So you always want to, like, if somebody wrote a book about Josh's dad, it would be outrageous to not ask Josh's family what they even wanted a book, if they agree, right? Wouldn't you say, Josh?
Yes, of course.
I mean, that's the appropriate thing, I think.
Well, it's like the people that, you know, when they did the Netflix Dahmer thing, you know, and they didn't even inform the families that was happening. And, you know, that's kind of terrible.
Yeah.
If you're asking me.
And I've let them know that, you know, I'm thinking about writing a book and everything. And they live in a different town, and I live in the town where it actually happened. And I thought that would be helpful, but they haven't got back to me. So I guess that's kind of, okay, what do I do with that then? You know, it's kind of.
Well, I mean, look, if you've made an attempt, I mean, then at least be sensitive to the family in the writing. And you
just say, you know, I've reached out to them for comment, but you know, haven't. I mean, that's what I would do, but but I think it's a good thing that look. It's a good thing. I mean, do you have any? Do you have any suspicions or leads or anything like that, or is it just? Poof?
No, but you know, my idea is that, you know, a lot of things, the technology has improved so much in the last 10 years. You know, I'm wondering, that's why I wanted to know more about what the detectives are currently doing. Like, have they tried these, you know, techniques like touch DNA and all these other things? And it's a very different case because, like, the police say they have no evidence of foul play, but they also have no evidence of suicide because they haven't found a body. You know, and it could be that he, you know, went off. That it's so mountainous around here, it would be very difficult to find somebody. But it's like, you know, did he just walk off a trail and get injured and died on a trail somewhere, and he just hasn't been found? Was there foul play involved? And they don't know. They can't rule out any of it. And there's some very suspicious activity has gone on, but I don't know. It's a complicated case, but anyway, that's what I just want to tell you about that. And I don't know if you have time for another comment or question. It's a quick.
Go ahead.
I just got through reading the book Killers of the Flower Moon about the Osage murder mysteries.
I know it very well. I'm almost positive it was up against me when I was being considered for an Edgar nomination. In other words, there's like the pre-nomination where like somebody gives your name to the Edgar, like, and you might get nominated. And I'm pretty sure that wound up getting nominated, and may even have won in the true crime category. That year, I have to look, but I think that was so. I certainly know the book.
Okay, so and I did some construction project accounting for an Indian tribe for about 18 months. So I learned quite a bit about that community, and it's very interesting. But in that book, it made a comment. I have it right here. That I'd never heard of this case and wondered if it's in your book or if you know anything about it. The Dr. H. Holmes
Oh, yes.
who had murdered at least 27 people, many of them during the 1893 World's Fair in Chicago.
Yeah, he had a murder palace. It was a hotel with doors that opened up and people being pulled into one. And then the idea was that he would mutilate the body and articulate the skeleton, sell it to a science group or whatever. But he was a very early, not very early, but an early serial killer. He was also known as Mudgett. H.H. Holmes, but Mudgett was the last name. And there's a movie coming out about him, I'm almost positive.
Yeah, there is, yeah.
With Leonardo DiCaprio, based on, I think it's called The Devil in the White City.
That's right.
The Larson book that's about that case. So yes, I'm very intimately aware of that case. The Mudgett
I am too. That was a case that I've read all about and watched all kinds of things. It's fascinating. It's insane, but it's fascinating. And they're, not the clinical insane, but it's insane.
So what, did he attack a whole bunch of people right at the fair? That sounds very odd.
The hotel where women, people would stay there, and then they would be walking through the hallway.
So calculated.
Right, and then they'd go down into the basement where he would do whatever.
Yeah, he turned an entire hotel into a murder factory, basically.
Okay.
Yes.
And that must have been at or near the fair then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll let you go. It's
Thanks,
getting
Connie.
late. Thank you. Appreciate you guys so much.
Appreciate you. Bye-bye. All right, we got a couple more and then we'll call it a night. Diane, go ahead.
Hi, guys. How are you guys tonight?
Good. How are you? Where are you calling from?
Well, I'm calling from, I'll just say Missouri because
Good enough.
I'm calling about stalking.
Okay.
So anyway, I kind of have a question as far as someone's personality. I have history from a domestic relationship that.
Are you talking about a specific person or a general?
Yes.
I can't answer a specific. I won't be able to address anything you're saying if you're talking about a specific person that affected you.
No, I have a personal history of it happening to me, but as far as someone that does stalking, I guess my question is, if they have a tendency that they're still, say, fixated on somebody, is it something they eventually drop the interest in that person?
I really can't answer this question because it's too obviously personal.
Okay.
It's too clinical. It's inappropriate to answer it. You understand?
Yeah.
I don't want to. I can't do that. But look, in general terms, not talking about this, stalking can go on a very long time. There are stalking cases where people have been obsessed for decades. So I think the notion it's just a matter of if it burns out. My experience has been that when it burns out, the person finds someone else to stalk. It is their nature to do that, and they simply find a different target.
And in my very uneducated and non-clinical suggestion, I wouldn't count on it.
Yeah. Well, and like I won't really ask like an opinion on a particular person in my case, but yeah, we were together and then finally got out of the situation, and that was moved out 15 years ago, and to this day, I mean, I don't mention around anybody, where exactly that I live, because at one point my lug nuts were loosened, and comments about if I can't have you, nobody can, and all that type of stuff is ridiculous. But
that's insane.
I wish at the time that I had met him, I would have Googled, because he has quite a bit of family that's in the same mindset. So, but yeah, I was lucky enough to, at least with an order of protection, he got 21 days in jail, but he violated the protection order 3 times in the first week.
Yeah.
But they had to have a conviction on the first one to count the next one as a felony. And anyway, so I just kind of stay distant, and I have a different car now.
you do everything you can to protect yourself, and
he terrorizes.
It's a terrible thing that people go through.
his neighbors are good friends of mine, and he terrorizes them.
How
even
long
if-
has it been going on?
Well, I was first with him in the mid 2000s, and I've been out of there for 15 years.
Yeah.
And he still to this day bothers the neighbors, which are good friends of mine. So because they are friends of mine.
Terrible.
So anyway, but yeah, no, I plan on it just always being a thing, and I lay low and don't put anything obvious.
Well,
anywhere.
luckily that I mean, I know that he's violating these orders and stuff like that, but it is good that you have one, because if you call,
Well,
that
I don't have one now, so
okay. But and have you reapplied?
no, because I have pretty much stayed away, and then so.
Yeah.
But I do know that if he heard where I was, he'd be likely to drive on over and figure, so I just kind of stay to myself. So
Well, it's a
anyway,
terrible thing, and
yeah,
just stay safe, and I hope
my
you know.
kids get messages once in a while from him, and then they'll get some sort of a message, and then we make sure something else is blocked. Then he'll find ways to get a message through. So
Just like
anyway,
typical stalking behavior is terrible.
I
Well,
appreciate what you
given the
guys do.
possibility that the person is somehow aware that you're on here, be careful how much info you give about the steps you take to avoid.
Yeah, no,
Definitely.
it's doubtful, but you never know. So
He's not
know.
he wouldn't be a fan of the lab. I could guarantee you that.
well, yeah, hard to say, but yeah, he's usually not very electronic, and but he has gone to great lengths to do other things. So yeah, you can never say never. So
Gotcha.
anyway, but
Well,
no, I watch you guys on here, and then also on the interview room, and just really appreciate what all you guys do and all your knowledge. And
thank you.
anyway,
Well, we appreciate you calling, and please stay safe.
oh, always. So,
All right. Well,
all
thank
right.
you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
It's amazing that the people that call in, that it's like always the same thing with these guys. These if I can't have you, nobody else can. It's such a cookie cutter, like narcissistic
Your
my
father.
dad. Yeah, it's the same crap, man. It's just like they don't give up. Let's see. Pamela, are you there? Tried to go. Hopefully Pamela picks up, but
That's
if not,
the
Yes,
same
I'm
Pamela.
here. I've been waiting
Oh, there you are.
patiently for 2 hours.
sorry. I
We
went.
tried to
Good
have you
evening,
on
Dr.
before, but we couldn't
Gary,
hear you.
and also good evening, Josh.
How are you? Yeah, we tried to get
I
you on
know,
earlier,
I
but it
made the
wasn't
mistake
working.
of unmuting my TV. I know,
Okay, sorry about
but
that.
I've been waiting patiently. But I think we could use a little lightheartedness right about now for all of us. There's
All
been
right.
some really serious calls tonight. And Dr. Gary, I want to start off by, I'm so excited for you and your book at number 2. That is
Yeah.
just the best news I heard in the whole show tonight. And
Well, I always
so
knew it was number 2.
blessings are coming your way, and it's going to climb to number 1. I just know it. And I'm just excited for you. And so on a lighthearted note, and I almost was going to sing a song for you guys because it's been so,
Why not?
I don't
Why?
want to say dull, but it's
Most.
just been, I mean, you've had a lot of patience, you guys, tonight.
What about what? Why almost?
So my mother would
I-
say, she would sing this song. We need a little Christmas right
yeah.
this very minute. Candles in the windows,
Sleigh bells in
and
the
then
snow.
playing Gary's piano. Yes, we need a little Christmas.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm not a
That's
singer,
written by
but I
Jerry
wanted to
Herman
just lighten
for
things up.
from MAME. That's from the musical MAME.
How'd you know that?
Angela
Yes, I
Lansbury
know. I'm very
popularized
familiar. It's
that.
one of
I
my
love
favorites.
Angela Lansbury.
Yes, Angela Lansbury popularized that well before, she was, playing teacups. She was playing,
Yes.
raunchy anti-MAME, so really fun.
Auntie Mame. Oh, God bless her. But I
That's
want
right.
you to know, John, that I noticed immediately that you changed your intro. And I don't know if you remember, but I had written in a couple weeks ago about changing your intro. And I noticed tonight, before the start of the program, that you done that, and it really looks sharp, and it just captures now the beauty of your show, The Lab, and I'm just so excited about that also.
Well,
So I'm
thank you.
just bringing a lot of grace and happiness to you tonight, and I think we all need it after tonight's show. I know I
Sure.
do. And then I just have one further thing, because I know you're tired, I'm tired, but Dr. Gary mentioned on the interview room last evening that he
Uh-huh.
is going to attend CrimeCon. And I'm
I,
so
I
excited
think
because I'm from
so.
Florida, Dr. Brucato, and I'm looking forward. I'm going to be there, and I'm looking so forward to meeting you. And you mentioned on the show that possibly doing a panel. I think that is a great idea. And
Yeah.
I
Hard
think
to get
Dr.
one though.
Lamb and Josh. Yes, I know it's hard to get one, but you'll definitely will do the book signing, right?
Oh,
For your
not,
book,
and they
your
have
new
to give
book.
you permission to do it. I mean, I did I was on a panel at CrimeCon before. I loved it, but
Why did you change
really
your mind?
it's a long story. I'll tell you later. It's more like a personal matter.
Okay,
But I think that
I understand.
Does
yeah,
it have to do
but
with rooming with
I don't want
me?
to talk about it. Listen, but Pam, let me ask you something. Staying with Josh in the hotel, might as well stay with H.H. Holmes. But listen, let me ask you a question. Are you the Pamela
Yes,
who
sir.
wrote to me saying that you were confused about? Was that you who wrote to me that something bounced back
Yes,
to you?
sir.
Yeah, that I never got
Yes,
that.
sir.
That must have been that it went to the wrong place. So feel free to reroute it. Write me again, and I'll tell you where to do that, because that does help. And that and remember that you could always pick up one of the books that I still have from the raffle, or there's after I got a couple of requests while I was on the show tonight. I think I'm going to have about 17 or 18 left. So you're more than welcome to do
I
that. And
understand, and I did hear
yeah,
that, and I want to make my request to you now. Uh,
sure.
but if you want me to email, do I need to email you that
Well, what's the request?
for one of your books that of the 17 that you have left?
Oh yeah. You'd have to email, and then I'll tell you how you send the payment for it, and then you can give me
Okay,
where to
I
mail
would.
it. Yeah,
Okay, I would love that. I'll send. Yeah, no, the payment's no problem, but I'd love to
yeah.
have one of the books from your library.
Of course,
And
that's
just
the
one
fun.
other. I'm sorry.
No, it's
Just one other comment, and I'm not going to go into crimes tonight, but
yeah.
Josh, I did send an email to you, and when you have time, there was a lot of discussion on last evening's program, the interview room. We had the hypothesis, and as Dr. Brucato knows, we really kind of got kind of heavy with Chris and Dr. Lamb. And of course, we realize it's all a hypothesis.
Right.
However, we also understand I'm the former crime analyst, so I'm following the case very closely. But you talked about the card that Annie placed at the memorial, and you did quite a bit of
I didn't
discussion
talk
on
about it.
that. With
Chris talked about that. Yes. Go on.
Chris brought it up, correct, correct. But they never showed the cover of the card. And the cover of the card that she left is more interesting to me than what she wrote inside. And Josh, when you have a chance, maybe on a future show, if you would show the cover of the card, because on the cover of the card, there's actually a wolf with teeth emerged. And Dr. Brucato, I found that so eerie. I mean, what woman who is grieving uh, would design a card with a wolf with teeth on the front of her grieving card to her mother, expressing how much she loves her mother. And then on the front, though, which they neglected to show, is this ugly wolf. So I just wanted to mention that real quickly, if for a future show.
Okay.
And Dr. Brucato, I love you. I think you're just
Oh,
such a man full of grace. And as you talked early on in the show, which was very important, so many people do not understand grace. And I totally get it. I'm a person that lives daily with grace and gratitude. And I believe each day should be lived that way. And I try, I try my own little ministry. If it's a smile to someone, if it's, you look nice today, whatever it might be, because just like your experience you had today, going to Barnes and Noble and meeting that young man. I mean, this is life. This is real life.
When did that happen?
And
Did
I
you talk
enjoyed
about
the
that?
story, by the
She's
way.
talking about something that happened. Yeah, but yesterday. But have you ever read Shakespeare's As You Like It?
Oh, I would love. I've read some, but I love Shakespeare.
Well, there's a wonderful piece of it,
Yeah,
which
me too.
is sung by Amiens, the musician, which is about ingratitude, and I love it. I always loved it.
Okay.
It's very beautiful, and it says, see if I can remember it. It says, "Blow, blow, thou winter wind, thou art not so unkind as man's ingratitude. Thy tooth is not so keen, although thy breath be rude. Hi ho, sing hi ho unto the green holly. Most friendship is feigning, most loving mere folly. Then hi ho the holly, the life is most jolly." And then it says, freeze, freeze, thou bitter sky, that dost not bite so nigh as benefits forgot. Though thou the waters warp, thy sting is not so sharp as friend remembered not. Hi ho, sing hi ho unto the green holly. Most friendship is feigning, most loving mere folly. Then hi ho the holly, the life is most jolly. And I love that idea of comparing ingratitude to a cold wind that sort of burns the skin, because I really think that's what it is. It's the ugliest. I'm telling you, it's the ugliest trait a human can have.
Absolutely.
Is hideous trait. The person that just expects, that takes for granted, that doesn't appreciate the value of a thing. Fulton Sheen used to say that some people know the value of everything and the value of nothing. And what he meant was that some people look at a person and they know how to use them. So they know their value, but they don't know their value. You get it? They know they're
but
they don't really know. Right.
But if that's what he was saying, Dr. Gary, why didn't he just say it instead of writing that convoluted stuff?
Because he was a genius.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. He just like Dr. Gary is a genius.
Is he?
And
I don't know. I mean, you ever see me tie my shoe? I'm not so sure, but I appreciate that. I mean, people still tease me that I like Velcro. But it's I mean, that's not a joke. But I mean, I
know.
I really don't think I would use that word for myself, and especially when it comes to certain things. So,
well, I
but
wanted
all
us
right,
to
well,
all laugh together a little bit, and I just wanted to lighten our souls a little bit, and I hope I did that with my call. And I love you both, and I watch every show, and I just wish you all the blessings, and I'm looking forward. Now you're going to CrimeCon. Now, does Josh know that?
I mean, I'm a little worried that I heard that the hotels already are very difficult to get into, but
I already got one reserved. So
you do?
Yep. And guess what?
I knew you did, Josh.
Oh God, help
I got
us.
2 beds.
You're bunking with Josh.
No, I'm not going anymore. I decided against it. No, there are a lot of things I'd rather do. Licking Willie Nelson's hairbrush. That's high on the list of things I'd rather do. But
I'm
but
like you.
no,
I like
thank
to
you.
have my own room. But there is availability at the Overflow Hotel if you do it tomorrow.
No, I'm not doing anything tomorrow. I'll do it like a week before.
Oh,
and then
okay.
he's not going to
All
have
right.
a room,
Well,
and then he's going to have to stay with me.
All right. Well, we're done with that. All right. Well, listen, thank you for calling up. I really appreciate it. Thank you. That was really very kind of you.
Yeah, thanks.
Your call was very kind. I appreciated it.
Thank you for waiting too. Appreciate it.
You're a nice person. Okay. Take care.
All right. Last time we're going to try with Heather one more time.
Okay. Is that the last call?
That's the last. This will be the last call.
Going out, yeah. Uh-huh.
Are you there?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
3rd time's a charm. Yeah, I can hear you.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
How are you?
Doing good. How are
Hi,
you?
Dr. B.
How are you?
I'm good. I've been wanting to call the past couple weeks, but I've just been watching and listening to you. Some of the things you say, you just can't stop listening. So it's too much to sit on hold and to
There
chat.
are a lot of people who wouldn't agree with that, but okay, I appreciate that. I am a
Okay,
very
well,
for
since
insomnia.
our one phone call about Josh, how the whole thing started with, I was telling you about CrimeCom and how you had to get your ticket and everything. That's the night that you started with the whole thing with Dr. Big.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, for like 3 weekends straight, every time, I was freaking cracking up because you did not stop.
Gary wants to kill me.
I know you guys were hysterical, Josh. You didn't want to stop. I remember the one time he said, "I would rather," and he named like 3 things he would rather do.
And I don't believe that, by the way. I think he's
I
full of, I
know,
think
it's
he's full of it.
crazy.
I don't
It's
believe any of
crazy.
those things.
No, don't.
I'm a wonderful, wonderful roommate.
Yeah, you're great.
And a hottie, so who cares?
Yeah, and I'm a hottie, Dr. Gary. You hear that?
And that's what's telling him. It was just so funny because after we had that conversation, it did not stop for 3 or 4 times afterwards.
Well,
And it was so
unfortunately for him,
funny.
it still hasn't stopped.
I'm glad that you find it funny.
It was. Come on. It was hilarious. You were getting a kick out of it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with your mood tonight. I love it.
I do. Because he doesn't want a roommate. Can be more gracious.
A lot of the people that called today had questions, but I already knew most of the answers to them. And one of them was the favorite book.
Whose favorite? Yeah.
Well,
you mean your favorite book?
Right, but the question was to you, your favorite true crime case of all time.
Oh yeah, It depends what kind of crime you're talking about.
But I knew exactly, but unreally solved or just, and I knew it was Lizzie Borden.
Well, no, that's
in a different way, right?
On the kind of case you're talking about. I mean, I think the 3 cases that I find the most fascinating are the Lizzie Borden case, the Albert Fish case, and the Zodiac case. I know everything about them. They're just the 3 cases that always lured me in for many years. And
what was the last one?
Zodiac, Lizzie Borden, and Albert Fish. And that's why by writing now about Lizzie Borden with Ann Burgess for the book we have coming out for the CCF, I finally can say that I've written about all 3 because the other 2 were included in the New Evil. So I'm very, very happy that I'm finally getting to write my opinions on Borden, who, as I said, did it. So I'm really happy about that.
Yeah. Interesting.
But I know you love that I like the Borden case so much, and then you won the book about Lizzie Borden in the raffle, which is hilarious. Right? Isn't that true? Didn't you win it?
Hi.
Didn't you win?
Did you win the Lizzie Borden book?
Yeah, she
of course I did.
Yes,
and
that's cool.
Not only that,
right.
But Josh, I hadn't told you last time I had talked to you. It was when I was wanting it. I was wanting to win it, and then
and it happened.
you had found out I did. Right.
Not lucky. Yeah, it was awesome.
But the reason it meant the most to me is because it is one of your all-time favorite cases.
Well, that's cool. I think that's awesome. And I know that you wanted that song. You wanted me to play a song in the.
Oh yeah. Do you remember which one it is by now? I've known you for like a year. Do you remember it by now?
Yesterday. You want me to play Yesterday? Yeah. The problem with that is that there are certain songs, if you play them, become like a royalties problem. Like you
get the hell out of here because you need royalties for. Actually,
I get it, but the fact is, we must, do what we have to do legally, and
Yeah, but
that's
you do let it be.
well, we have to, obey the law. It's a
Isn't let
do?
it be open?
copyright matter. That's the problem. So,
I want to hear it.
all right, well, but
You
but
know
um,
that.
but I appreciate you calling so much. You always say such kind
Yeah,
things.
I haven't in a while, and that's just when I wanted to call and say hi. Oh, and I wanted to tell you the last couple times, like 3 times ago, Joey called and was telling you about in New York the what is it? Inside the Mind of a Serial Killer. He was telling you about the exhibit.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Do you remember it? And you were like, "Are you sure it's not corny? I don't want to go if it is."
Well, I said that I felt
I
uncomfortable.
went.
Yeah, how was
It
it?
was. It was as good as he said.
Oh,
I have
cool.
like pictures in like Bundy's car with like the seat out. I
Yeah,
have
I wouldn't want to go because I would feel that it was offensive to the victims' families.
But isn't that what we were talking
yeah, but the
about
way
Borden?
Right.
they know, right?
I'm not
But the
saying
way they did it, it was
I'm not
different.
saying that it is necessarily. I just think it could be
You
construed.
got to see this.
Yeah,
That's me in
I
AI in a torture chamber. I didn't even know that was me.
Oh, hold on. Hold it up again.
In like a torture chamber. They had Dahmer's apartment set up with like, you know what things? A lot of the things from boys in bowls in the refrigerator
Hmm.
and heads on the stove. Like it was really cool. It really was. It wasn't corny. We had a good time.
It's
It
not
was
about
like an hour and a half.
corny. I just feel like, for example, there are people out there who are the relatives of the people who were killed by Dahmer or killed
Oh, and
by
I can't wait to meet them at at CrimeCon.
and I just think, like, if I go and hang out with, like, look at Bundy's
You're not.
car,
You're hanging out with a
you know what I
car
mean?
that's not really Bundy's. Come on.
Well, it would bug me, to make a bad pun, to hang out with the,
Yeah,
you know,
I don't blame you not to go.
yeah, you understand. One has to be sensitive.
Yes, but I did have a good time, and I got a pretty cool shirt too. And I heard what the last caller said to you real quick was about they heard that you are going to ConCon, and I keep trying. I'm talking to myself as I'm saying it. I'm like, but only if he's a speaker. But only if he's a speaker. I'm like yelling at the.
I don't think maybe when the book comes out,
Yes.
there might
When
there'll
is
be events.
when is the New York signing?
There's no New York signing for that book. That book, which is going to be for the foundation,
That's
is
what John.
that's what Chris and I and 13 other authors wrote a book about the foundation, and that is where we present the Lizzie Borden case and some other things. But that there's no signing event. It's just a
Right, but can't you go and can I still go and do like we wanted to? Like I wanted to?
if I
Or is that
bumped
the one with
if
you
I
and
bumped into you at CrimeCon and you had the book with you, I could sign it. But there isn't going to be like a
I don't care about signing it. I want to go and listen to you guys talk about it.
there's no event like that happening unless
Not until the one with you and John.
panel is convened. There is no panel Josh and I are on. That Josh is talking
No,
about
John.
John who? Which John?
Lamb.
John Lamb and I are not on a panel together.
I thought you guys were doing a book together.
No, we're talking about doing a book together, but there's no panel associated with it. It's just something we're talking about doing in the future.
Yeah, I
Well,
bet John
Dr.
would
B, I
share a room
don't
with
care
me.
about looking at the panel. I want to be someplace where you guys are that are just doing the book and talking about your book.
Yeah, no, there's no such panel.
That's only a panel.
No,
Okay.
there's no such thing. But it would be nice. I mean, but it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I know, Josh. Please tell him yet.
Things
But
can
no more
change.
bothering. But promise, Hottie, no more bothering him about about the room. 'Cause
I haven't
keep
brought it up.
losing
I
it
have
over.
not brought it up one time tonight. It's
Yes,
been other people.
in the past 2 weeks. Yes, you have not.
I haven't brought
Before
it up.
that, I was dying. You were really doing it because I'm at the pool all day, and by the time I get home and I want to go right to sleep, then I wake up and you guys are on, and you're just cracking me the hell up.
Well, I
I want to
appreciate
get
it.
up all over again. So, all right, guys. I just want to
Thank
say I
you.
love you.
All right. We'll talk to you soon, Heather. Thank you.
Take care of yourself.
Bye.
All right. Really quick, Dr. Gary. I mean, can you imagine, just hypothetically speaking?
No.
Okay. We go and we wear matching outfits and we live stream 24 hours a day. Can you imagine
No.
Okay. Just saying.
You got to stop, bro. I'm done with this. There are things in this world that I'm done with, and there are things I am done with. Like this, no.
I'm just getting started.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Well, is that the last person?
That's it. We're done.
All right. Well, that was fun. I enjoyed that. I think there was a seriousness that overhung the entire.
I don't know. There was some goofy. There was some good stuff, man. It was a great show. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good overall.
I thought it was, today there was a somberness. I think a real somberness to the calls, but I appreciate.
Yeah, I think it probably comes from what was going on this week with me and a little bit of that.
Maybe I think there's a little truth to that. I mean, you definitely, and I, with both of us, I mean, we've got a lot going on, and I think people
No question
pick it up somehow. Yeah, it's fun. It's true. I agree with you.
Let's see that. Let me read this real quick. Josh, lab results are in. You're stronger than you probably feel. And in my thoughts and prayers, doctor's orders laugh at least once tonight. We did, even if it's only because the callers say something completely unhinged. That also happened as well. Dr. B, you mentioned a few shows back that Albert Fish was very rare as he was both psychotic and psychopathic. Can you expand a bit on that? And does Joseph Callinger fall into the same category?
Yes, he was the shoemaker. He was also psychotic and psychopathic. That's a very good point. Yeah.
And Chloe says, love you guys. We appreciate you. Both Josh and Dr. Gary rock. So smart, interesting. Love you both. Thank you. Your mom would be so proud of you. Thank you, Mikey. I appreciate that, my friend. And know she was side by side with you all these years. You protected the family, and God bless. Well, that's very kind of you to say. I appreciate it. And
beautiful
it is very. Josh, Dr. Gary, how about a raffle ticket for a chance to have lunch with you two? Bring your whistle. The whistle is.
I can you imagine the danger of agreeing to such a thing?
Yes, I can.
Lord. My God, no. Josh, just imagine what would result from offering such a thing.
Mary's Pop says you'd be surprised at how much weight you can carry for family. It's one of the many reasons I admire you, kid. Love, Pop. I appreciate that. It's very, very sweet. And I appreciate and Mary said so very proud of you for not getting the poetry giggles. I didn't get the giggles. I just put my head in my hand.
You were probably singing The Farmer and the Dill in your brain or something. Knowing you. But it's a beautiful little piece of Shakespeare.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Otis got his little checkup today or yesterday.
How's he doing?
He's doing pretty good. I got to tell you though, he got after last week when he got the thermometer right up the arse. He was not so keen, to go back this time. And he's so funny because I was in the chair,
right.
And then they have the little island that you put the dog on.
Right.
And then there's a chair next to me. He got up in the chair next to me and was sitting there like he was a human. And I think he was trying to fool the vet as to that he wasn't the one that was there for the appointment, because she said, "Oh, look at him. He's sitting in." She said she'd never seen another dog sitting in the chair like that.
Oh.
And but what she said was, even this is an exact quote from her. She says, "Even for a Frenchie, she said, he's such a sweet little guy, but even for a Frenchie, he's a strange little man."
What does that mean?
Well, it just means he's strange, because he is. He's just a very strange little guy. Like he just
an odd personality.
He's got the oddest little, yes, and the way even just the way he prances around, it's very odd. And the way he drinks water, the way he eats his food, everything about him is odd. He's a very odd little guy, but he's like the sweetest thing ever. So
he sounds sweet.
He is sweet. Macho's a little more aggressive.
Are you bringing the dogs to Crime Con?
No, God, no.
Doesn't Buddy go?
Yeah, but Buddy's normal.
Oh, I see. You have the sense that it would be a bad idea to bring Otis or Macho.
Let's just say that yesterday they peed on each other for fun.
Oh, interesting.
And not like in a weird...
So they can join Congress.
That was funny. All right, Dr. Gary.
It was to that. All right. Well, I'm kidding. All right. Well, thank you so much. I'm sorry. I'm a little pensive tonight.
You're fine. It's fine. Not a problem at all.
From time to time.
We had that was a great night. I think we had a good time. We'll talk.
We'll
talk later.
Another one in a week. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Sounds good. Bye-bye. Yeah, we'll be back probably next week with another one. So I appreciate you guys. Yeah, it was like what happened was Macho peed on Otis at first, and it was like an accident. And Otis got mad and peed on him back. That was all there was. It was ridiculous. So anyway, that's what they do. We appreciate you. I appreciate you guys very much. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all the kind words and thoughts. Everybody that's reached out, very much appreciate you guys. And thank you for all the calls as well. And we will see you on the next show. They're just you want to come here? Come here. Come here. You want to say hi? Come on. Come here. Macho, come here. Come here. Come on. I'm trying to get him to come over. He won't walk 2 feet. Come here. This is Macho. Say hi, Macho. Otis is hiding under the blanket. Say hi. Now he's shy. Okay. All right, guys. Have a good night. Here, say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. I know. Stop, Otis. Here. Otis, come here. Come here. So odd. Come here, Otis. Come here. Come here.